at Anthropic were two of them. And I think one, we were starting to convince OpenAI of. The other, I was, I didn't feel that we were convincing of. So the first was
Hello, everyone. Let's wait for a few more minutes and then we'll start our session. So, good evening, everyone. A very warm and professional welcome to all respected guests, industry professionals, and our future data leaders. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to today's event titled Career Guidance Session being conducted on 26th May 2026. This session is designed to guide students in choosing the right career path among data science, data analytics, and data engineering, three of the most in demand and future focused careers in today's digital world. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Samiksha Mudvari and I'm the academic coordinator at Dlytica. It is truly an honor to host this session and support you in making informed and confident career decisions. So talking about the objectives of today's session, the main objective is to understand data science, data analytics, and data engineering, explore career scope, opportunities, and industry expectations, learn essential skills and tools required for freshers and professionals, and guide you in choosing the right career path and that align with your interests. So here our guest speaker for today. We are honored to have our distinguished speaker, Mr. Assis Parazali as founder and CEO of Dlytica, Mr. Sudeep Shrestha as data engineering, and Mr. Suvan Sinkarki as data AI and DevOps engineer. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Suvan Sinkarki sir. He will be discussing data, AI, and DevOps career pathways and how to stay relevant and competitive in today's rapidly evolving tech industry. So, hello, Suvan sir.
So, thank you for that introduction. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. I'd like to share my screen. Can I take control? All right. I'm hoping my screen is visible. Good evening, everybody. So today's session is like it was mentioned in the opening segment. It's pretty much a career guidance session. So before starting, let me start with a very simple question, right? So how many of you have used, let's say, ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, maybe Copilot or any AI tool to maybe write some code, debug or fix an error, explain some code that's already present online, or maybe even generate an answer to an error that you come across? How many have you done that?
Yeah, I have done that. Am I supposed to just wave my hand or just answer that
Yeah,
question?
yeah. Just you can just wave your hand. I just
Okay.
want to know how many of you have done that. Okay, seems like almost every one of you might have done that in some time or the other. Now, that is not the real question. The real question is when you have done that, right? And when you know that AI can already do so many of those things, what is going to happen to people like us? What is going to happen to somebody who's trying to become a data analyst or a data scientist or data engineer? What is going to happen to students who are just starting their career? What is going to happen to people just like you who are learning SQL, Python, dashboards, and data pipelines, right? And that is exactly what my session is about, right? And what I want you to be clear is I'm not trying to scare you. All I'm trying to say is AI is coming. It's already at your doorstep. But I'm not saying that your career is finished. I'm also not here to give you fake comfort and say that nothing is going to change, because most of the things are already changing, right? The way we write our codes on a daily basis, that is changing. The way we learn, that is changing. The way uh, all the companies are hiring, that is changing. The way your entry-level jobs, your junior level roles, they work, that is also changing, right? So today, I want to have a little more practical conversation. This is not some theoretical session. This is not a motivational session. It is going to be much more practical. And by the end of this session, I want all of you to understand something very clearly. That is that in this age of AI, your value will not come from, uh, will not come from learning and knowing how to write code. Your value will come from knowing what is it that you have to build, why you are building it, how you can verify it, and also how you can explain it. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk. Let's be let's have a little candid conversation and be. Let me talk very honestly to all of you. A few years ago, when I say few years ago, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago. If you could write, um, if you could write SQL, just plain SQL, right? That in itself was a very strong skill. If you could code in Python, that was a very strong skill. If you could build dashboards, if you could create basic ETL pipelines, those in itself were very strong skill, right? Even now, they are important skills. They are not like, they're not something that to be, they are not something to be taken granted of. But what has happened is that the value of these skills has changed. Why? Because AI can write SQL, AI can write Python, AI can create simple dashboards, AI can even, um, write your models in, uh, it can write your machine learning models in Python. It can generate your entire ETL pipeline code. It can explain your errors. It can debug your errors. It can refactor your code. It can do your documentation. It can even do testing, right? Beyond that, it can even do basic data architecture, and all of that it can do pretty much faster than a human can, right? So if AI can write, or if AI can do all of that, right? Uh, then how how are you of any value to the company if AI can already do that, right? If AI can generate your code to build an ETL pipeline, then do you think and be able to do it faster than you, then do you think your skill set is going to be enough, right? Now, having said that, the shift that has happened or that is happening is that the barrier to entry level work has gotten down, right? Which means that somebody from an IT background with a little bit training or with no training versus somebody from a non-IT background with the help of AI can now enter not just data but any tech uh, entry level job. Why? Because AI can help them get started quickly. The twist is that the bar of excellence is also higher than ever. The entry level has gotten down, but the bar of excellence is also higher than ever, which means that companies will not be impressed just because you can write code, right? because like I said, anyone can generate code with the help of AI. So what is important then? What is of importance then? What can you do that is going to make you be valued by the company? What is going to help you is that if you can answer things like, can you tell whether the code is correct or not? AI can generate the code, but is the code correct or not? Can you tell whether the output makes sense, right? Especially when we are working in the data domain, our output has to make sense. Are we able to understand the business logic? Because it's not about working in the now and here. We have to work with a lot of legacy code and legacy business models. Are we able to understand that? Are we able to identify the risk? Are we able to improve upon the solution, right? Can we explain the solution? I mean, the AI can generate the solution, but can we understand and explain that solution to the stakeholders? That is where we have to bring our value in, right? So the question in the beginning kind of changes, right? So a few years back, the question would have been, do you know how to do this? Or, do you know how to build this? Do you know how to write this? Do you know how to do this? It used to be that way a few years ago. Now the question is, basically, why should we trust you to build this? Why should we trust you to build this? If AI can already do uh, what I'm asking you to do this, why should I trust you that you can do it any better? And that is what matters the most. The question is no longer how to build, because like I said, with the help of AI, anybody can build now, right? Yeah. The question is, why are you needed to build this? And that is the kind of shift in mindset we have to have going forward. And that all starts with understanding what AI is actually changing in the data landscape. So first of all, AI is already changing how we write code, right? Earlier, we had to write a Python script. We had to start basically from the scratch, import the libraries, create the function, handle files, handle errors. If we have any error, then go to Stack Overflow. If we are working with third-party system, read the documentation. Sometimes we miss a semicolon or a comma, and then we have to search the code for 30 minutes just to find that missing comma or a semicolon. Right? That is how we used to work. But now with AI, you can simply ask the AI, right? So you can ask AI, write me a Python script that reads data from the API. You can find the API documentation in this URL, and then you can even provide a detailed description of what you want the Python script to do. And within seconds, you might not get a perfectly working script, but you will get a starting draft, which if you were going to do on your own, it would take few hours, right? Granted, it may not be perfect, it may not be production ready, but you get a starting point, and that is the biggest change. Second, AI is speeding up the development cycles. Earlier, building any kind of prototype used to take a lot of days. Now with AI, it takes hours. The example I'll give you. So um, in a previous company, a few years back in a previous company, they decided to stop using a project management tool like Jira, right? So what I decided to do was I decided to make use of vibe coding, and I created a kind of like a task management app. Within, I think, the first version was created within 2 days, and within a week, I had pushed it to production. And after, I think, a month, the entire organization was using that in-house built task management app. It was like very light, and it followed the process of agile development process, and the whole organization was using it. And so I literally went from prototyping to production within a month. if I was not using AI, that would not have been possible. And the entire application was built by me alone in my free time. I wasn't even working on it full time. It was like a side project, and it went into production. Right. Now imagine, compare this to what used to happen in the early days. Right. Just writing boilerplate code used to be boring and slow. But now AI can generate the basic structure very quickly. Yeah. So the speed of work is increasing. Third reason is that so like I mentioned, I vibe coded. So we have these low code and no code tools that are growing a lot, right? Which means that more business users can create workflows, dashboards, even automations and reports without writing a single line of code. And much of these work previously used to require technical people just like us. And it's becoming much easier for even non-technical people to be able to do that. Fourth is about repetitive tasks which are being automated. So, if somebody was writing similar queries again and again, if somebody was creating standard reports on a regular basis, maybe generating test data, writing some documentation, all of that, right? These kind of repetitive tasks are becoming much easier and faster, right? And this is the direction that many tasks are moving towards because of AI. But having said so, it does not mean that the role of humans have already altogether disappeared. Right? It just means that the role of humans have moved upward. Instead of spending all of your time doing repetitive work, you are expected to use your brain a little bit more, think more, right? So you are now expected to not sit there and just you know type on your keyboard. What you're expected to do is do less of that, but do more of the thinking. Like, is this the right solution? Is this data trustworthy? Will this pipeline fail in production? Will this dashboard give the correct KPI or not? Will this design scale or not? Right? That is where we are, where how AI is transforming development on a regular basis. And now this part is more focused toward the data domain, and it's very much important for your career planning. Now, in the past, your roles were more clearly separated. A data analyst mainly created reports, a data engineer mainly built pipelines, a data scientist mainly built models. You have your other roles as well, like dashboard developer mainly work with BI tools. You have your database developer mainly working with SQL. But now these lines are becoming bloody. They are already bloody in the context of companies in Nepal, but now even more so, it's happening even more so. These lines are becoming very bloody. So let's take an example of a data analyst, right? So a modern data analyst will need to learn tools like Power BI, Tableau, or Superset, but that is not enough anymore. They will need SQL, they will need Python, they will need to understand how data pipelines work, they will need to understand where the data is coming from, so that they can question and find the answer of where a metric is coming from that might be incorrect, right? If you talk about data engineers, me personally, I also do a lot of data engineering work. So I can't just sit there and say that my job is to only to move data from source to a target. That is just not enough for me. I have to understand about the business, right? I have to understand, why does this table exist? Why does this, who is going to use the data inside of that table? I need to be able to design models that is going to support maybe reporting or analytics or applications or even AI systems, right? And if we talk about data scientists, that is also changing. So it's earlier it used to be just enough being able to build a model in a notebook. Not that, but now doing just that much is not enough, right? Because that model has to work in the real world also. The data that the model is going to use has to be clean. Their own pipeline has to be reliable. Uh, uh, Once the model is being used, its output has to be monitored. And obviously, the model itself has to be explainable. If the data scientist can't explain the model itself, they'll not be able to sell it. So what exactly is happening over here? what is happening is that we are moving from these so-called tool-based roles to more like problem-based roles, and that is the one big career lesson you can take away from here, right? So in the future, when you introduce yourself, don't introduce yourself like, oh, I know Python, I know SQL, I know, machine learning, I know this, I know how to work with this machine learning model, or I know Power BI. These are just tools, so don't glue yourself to these tools. Yeah. Try to answer questions like, can you solve reporting problems? Can you solve data quality problems? Can you design data models, useful data models? Can you build reliable and scalable pipelines? Can you help your business, or can you help a business make decisions? Can you make use of AI to accelerate your work without blindly trusting it? Yeah, so uh, that is a more proper way of thinking and introducing yourself. The answers to these questions will help you give your future employers a much more better answer and much more better introduction about yourself and your capability. Oh, the simple reason behind that is that we are moving from these uh, tool-based roles to more problem-based roles, right? Why? Because tools will keep changing. Few years back, nobody was using AI. Now everybody is using AI. Tomorrow, there would be something more advanced than what we have. And so these tools will keep on changing. But the problem that they're trying to solve, 5 years ago, we were solving the same problem. Now we are solving the same problem. It's not that tomorrow AI will suddenly get rid of all of those problems. The problems will still be there. We'll just be using those tools in a more effective way to solve those problems. So just what you have to try to do is basically become the person who can solve those problems, no matter what tool is present at that point in time. Just knowing how to use a tool is not going to be enough. So then let's dive a little bit deeper. And this part is going to be a little bit uncomfortable also, right? What is becoming commodity? What it means is that what kind of work is AI going to replace? Or at least what kind of work will become less valuable? First is your basic SQL queries, right? So I'm not talking about advanced SQL queries for now, at least. Basic SQL queries. So if someone only knows how to write simple select statements, some where clauses, some group by clauses, and some simple joins, that is not going to be enough anymore. And do not misunderstand me. You still have to learn SQL. You still have to be good at it, because SQL is still one of the most important skill sets in data. But just knowing simple syntax or writing simple select statements is not a big advantage anymore. That is the difference, right? Why? Because AI can generate those basic SQL statements very, very easily. The advantage you can have is knowing and understanding whether the query is correct. AI will definitely generate even some complex SQL statements. But is the output being generated by those SQLs, like complex SQL statements, correct or not? That is going to be our advantage, right? So, so let's say you ask AI to generate a complex SQL statement, and it generated a complex SQL statement, and then you look at the output, and then you have to try to figure out did the statement duplicate rows, right? If there is some aggregation being done, is that aggregation correct or not? Is the data being filtered correctly or not, right? If there is any business definition being used, is that correct or not? Is the query running efficiently or not? So if AI has written a query but it's taking a long time to run, that's still not good enough, right? And that is where your real skill set is going to be present. Second is simple dashboard. So if you're creating a dashboard with four simple charts, that is not difficult to create anymore. AI can do that, right? AI can do that faster than you, better than you. The real value is not in creating any given chart. The real value is knowing what should be measured and what should be presented in the dashboard, right? What should be compared. what KPIs to ignore, what actions do you want your users to take after looking at the matrices being displayed in the dashboard. And obviously, you can create the most beautiful dashboard, but if the logic is wrong, that's going to be very dangerous. Then we have pipelines. So let's say you create a pipeline where you're reading a file, cleaning a few columns, and loading data into a table. That is becoming very easy. AI can not just generate a code, but even execute the code and then have the data go into your tables. But in terms of production pipelines, things become a little bit different, right? Why? Because in real life, your data changes, your APIs will fail. If you're working with files, they might arrive late. Your columns may suddenly disappear from source. You will have duplicate records that will appear. Your business rules keep on changing. So a pipeline that you create, or AI, if you're using AI to create a pipeline, that maybe it works in your laptop, or maybe it works once, is not going to be the same as pipeline that runs reliably and efficiently every day. And that is going to be your advantage over how AI is able to create pipelines now. And finally, we have your boilerplate code, right? So a lot of the basic code that we do in all of the three domains is pretty much repetitive. And talking about AI is very good at generating these repetitive patterns. So if your value is only that you can write boilerplate code, your value is at high risk, right? Simply because average work is being automated a lot in almost all the places. But I repeat, not all work, average, repetitive, low context work, right? Work where you don't have to think a lot, right? So the takeaway from this is very simple. Do not try to be or aim to be someone who only follows tutorials, who only copies code, who can only do these average, repetitive, low context work. Aim to become someone who understands the problem in a deeper level and is able to question, improve, and also own the solution to be able to understand it, not just understand it, but explain it to the stakeholders properly. Now, those are the things that AI is taking over. So what is going to make you valuable, right? Now, out of all the slides, this is the most important part that I want you to focus on. Because if you understand this slide, you will understand how to survive and grow in the AI area that we are in. So we already talked about what is being automated and what has been automated. Now we'll talk about the things that cannot be easily automated. First is problem understanding. Yes, definitely AI can write a query, right? But AI does not automatically understand your company's business. It may not know what a company means when you say active customer. It may not know what your finance team means when you say revenue. It may not know that one column in a table is unreliable because something in the source changed. It may not know that you have two departments maybe that is defining the same metric differently. These are context, and these are understanding. These are terms and context that does not come from a system, but they come from people, right? So AI is not that. AI hasn't become, at least AI hasn't become that good when it comes to understanding the problem statement. Only we can do that. Second is business context. So to understand business context, let me give you an example. So suppose your manager comes to you and asks you, can you show me last month revenue, right? Very simple thing. But what does revenue mean, right? Is it paid amount? Is it invoice amount? Is it net amount? Is it amount after tax? Is it amount before tax? Is it collected revenue, right? Like monthly revenue can have a lot of different definitions based on a lot of circumstances, right? And this is where business understanding matters. AI will be able to generate a query, but a professional like us, we will be able to ask the right questions. That is going to help us give the right answers. Third is your data modeling and architecture thinking. So you can have AI be able to create tables in your databases. But should those tables be created or modeled as facts and dimensions? Should we keep the raw data separately? Should we create staging and production layers? Should we track history? Should we create a KPI or a metrics layer? Should we optimize the tables or the database for reporting, or should we optimize it for AI agents? These are all architecture decisions when it comes to data modeling, right? And architecture decisions, they require judgment, which AI isn't that good at. Because obviously AI does not AI rather does not have the complete understanding of the problem and does not have the business understanding. So it cannot take that decision for us. We have to take that decision um, based on our own judgment. Fourth is data quality and trust. So this is one of the biggest responsibilities when it comes to the data domain, right? You can have a pipeline that may run successfully, but still produce wrong data, right? You can have a dashboard that can refresh successfully, but show misleading numbers and KPI. So what happens is that someone has to take ownership of that trust, right? Someone has to be there on top of the system asking questions like, are there duplicates? Are there missing values? Are the joins in the SQL statement correct? Are the dates valid, right? Are the outliers being seen real or errors? These things are not just technical work. These are like proper responsibility. I mean, AI will generate the wrong output and then will not own, will not have any ownership. I feel like all of you might have seen that meme that has been going around recently that somebody asks, "Is this mushroom poisonous?" And ChatGPT replies, "No, this mushroom is not poisonous." And then the person eats the mushroom and dies, and then ChatGPT says, "Oh, I'm sorry." The mushroom, sorry, my mistake, the mushroom is poisonous. So, right, that is how AI works right now, right? AI is not going to be responsible for the output it creates. But that's not good enough for us, because one wrong output from AI, if it goes into production, that can hamper the value of the company and can have repercussions and have um, can create loss for the company. And this is responsibility that can only be owned by us as human beings. And finally, we have communication and storytelling. So, and this is very important, because you can be the best tech person, right? But if you cannot explain your work, people will not be able to trust it. And how can I trust it if you can't explain uh, why this particular certain number is being seen in the dashboard, right? You need to be able to explain technical things in a very simple language. You need to be able to explain the risks. You need to be able to explain trade-offs. You need to be like the most simplest thing is, like, if a pipeline is taking 1 hour to run, you have to be able to explain why it's going to take 1 hour. Maybe your team lead or manager will come and say, I need that to be done in 5 minutes. But you know that it's not possible to be done in 5 minutes, but you have to be explained. You can't just say, no, that's not going to happen in 5 minutes. It's just not possible. That answer is not good enough. You have to give the proper answer. Why is it actually going to take 1 hour and cannot be done in 5 minutes, right? So that is a human skill, because that's the system you have built. You know why it takes 1 hour, and you just have to be able to explain it. And That is very important. And finally, we have your system level thinking. And this is something that separates a total beginner from a strong technical professional, right? Um, because when you're beginning, you are only focused on making the code that you have written work. As a strong technical professional, you have to think beyond that. You have to think about what is going to happen when this code fails, right? Can my code works right now with 100 records? Is my code going? Let's say your code works right now, is able to process 100 records in 5 seconds. Is it going to be able to process 1 million records in 5 seconds or not? If not, what can I do to make that happen? Questions like what happens when there is a change in source? What happens when stakeholders ask for historical data? What happens when when I am not in this company and somebody else has to come in and look at the solution that I have implemented? That is system level thinking. And um, there is a very good line one of my mentors used to say um, regarding AI in data domain. He used to say execution nowadays is being automated, but human judgment is not and cannot, right? Your AI can execute, but the judgment, whether you use that AI's output or how you use that AI's output, is still going to be your responsibility. And in the future, it's already begun, but in the future, it's going to be even more. Judgment, specifically your own judgment, will become your most valuable skills. The speed of your output is going to be increased because of AI, but you have to be there sitting on top of that output to and be able to question that output and refine it and judge it. That is going to be your most valuable skills, right? So then after that, the natural question that comes in mind is, if the tech industry is changing like this, what should we actually learn, right? And this slide gives you basically gives you the latest skill stack that you should be focusing on. First thing is AI assisted development. This means that you should know how to use AI properly, not just going to ChatGPT and saying, "Hey, write code for me." That is not enough. You need to know how to give proper context. You need to explain your requirement to AI clearly. You also need to set constraints. You need to ask for error handling, logging, performance considerations for AI to implement, and you need to also ask AI to explain its own output. So just an example. You may ask.
Can I interrupt you for just 1 second, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the news lately. Even Microsoft, they've asked all their employees to stop using Claude, right? They took out the AI altogether. And I think there was another big company, probably, I don't know, Uber or something, right? So they've said like the AI is getting like way too expensive. So what if like I go to a job and they don't have AI? I mean, they won't let us use AI. So is it going to be much tougher, like if I'm in data engineering?
No, I don't think there is going to be a situation where companies are going to tell their employees to stop using AI. That is not going to be, um, how do I put it? Uh, that is going to be counterproductive. Those are just some outlier cases. Uber has not asked its employee to stop using AI. They just used they used so much AI that they used up their entire 1 year budget
Right,
that they
in
were going
four
to spend
months.
in AI in 4 months. That just means that the adoption rate of AI is increasing. And Microsoft not using cloud, that is just a business decision. Microsoft has got its own product. They are also in AI. How can you, being, I mean, imagine you have a product and competitor is having a product and you're using your competitor product instead of your own, that doesn't make sense. So those are business level decisions. It's not to say that Microsoft is saying not their employees not to use AI. Almost every company in the world right now is using AI in some way or the other. That is why you have these massive layoffs right now. So what might happen or what may happen is that, especially in Nepal, um, you won't have, you might not have the privilege of, so let's say the company is buying you paid subscription models for you to use. You may have to work it out of your own pocket. That might be possible. But there isn't going to be any company in the world right now who's going to tell their employees don't use AI. Because if they are saying that, then they are basically um, because it's a time it's a time against it's a race against time. If you have a company and you are telling your employees not to use AI and your competitors are using AI, they are and if you are working on the same business idea, they are probably going to ship their product in a week's time, and you're going to be there in 6 months in probably beta testing your product. So it's a race against time, and nobody has got that privilege in today's time to be able to do that. Okay, anyway, coming back to the session. And if any of you have got any questions, please share it down. We will tackle your questions in Q&A sessions later. So, yeah, I was talking about AI assisted development. So your prompting has to be better, right? So the quality of your instructions to AI is going to affect the quality of output. That's effectively how AI works. Even if you are working with basic machine learning model, if the quality of your input data is not good, the quality of your output is not going to be any better. And all of our LLMs, they are basically large language machine learning models. So if your prompts are not good enough, your output from those LLM is not going to be any better either, right? But we have to remember that AI assisted development only works if you have strong fundamentals, right? And this is your second layer. So first layer is AI assisted development. Second layer is strong fundamentals. So you still need to learn SQL, Python, data modeling, database concepts, learn about joins, indexes, APIs, and so and so. Because if you do not understand the fundamentals, you will not be able to judge whether the response from the AI is right or correct or not. That what you are going to do is you just copy the code from the AI that looks correct, but is going to fail in some way or the other silently in the background. And silent failure in data is a very, very dangerous thing. Third layer is data thinking, which basically means understanding the business logic, understanding matrices, understanding and having analytical reasoning behind it. Because it's one thing to say that my company did $1 million in the revenue this month, but it doesn't give me a lot of information because there's no context behind it, right? What does that $1 million revenue mean? Is that number useful? Are we comparing it to some number? So if this month's $1 million, if this month revenue is $1 million, is it less or more than last month? Is it as per our prediction or not? Did we reach a target or not? Can the business take action from this or not? Right? So we have to have that analytical reasoning behind any output we create. The fourth layer is the engineering mindset, which means thinking beyond, you created something, it works. You're not supposed to stop there. You have to think a little bit deeper and understand if the solution that you have created if it is reliable or not, if it is scalable or not, can it be monitored or not, can it recover from failure, is it maintainable or not, right? Can somebody else understand your solution after 6 months or 1 year or not? And all of that thinking uh, helps you in creating production grade work. And finally, we have communication. And I've seen a lot of technical people ignore this part, but I have to say, communication is not optional. If you cannot explain your work clearly, your work will not create enough impact. You need to be able to explain your solution to your um, line in charge or your managers. You need to be able to explain your issues to business users, right? If there is an error in the system, you can't just tell your business users, oh, there is an error in the systems. You have to be able to explain the issues so that they understand where the issue is coming from and what you are doing to resolve that issue. You need to be able to explain requirements to other developers, maybe if you are working in a cross-functional team. You need to be able to write documentation properly. And also you need to be able to present your work, right? Just sitting in there in your laptop and then getting the work done is not, nobody's going to notice you if you're not able to present your work in some way or the other. And this is basically the new skill stack, right? Your AI assistant development, strong fundamentals, data thinking, engineering mindset, communication. And if you build all these layers, you are not just learning tools. You are becoming a more complete data professional for the era that we are working in. So, so that's the skill stack that we talked about. So what should we do now, right? What should you start doing from today? First thing is to stop learning tools in isolation, and this is a very common mistake, right? So you say you're learning Python, you're learning SQL, you're learning Power BI, you're learning Airflow. That is okay, but it is still incomplete. Instead of learning these tools in isolation, try to connect these tools to problems. Don't just learn Python. Learn Python to be able to do something like, automating tasks, building pipeline, cleaning data, things like that. Don't learn just SQL, right? Learn SQL that is going to help you answer business questions, maybe build analytical models or even validate data. Don't just learn how to create a dashboard. Learn to create dashboards that is going to help people make decisions, right? Just looking at the dashboard, it's looking all pretty and colorful. That's not good enough. The dashboard, the matrices present in the dashboard should be able to, point your users to the problem, and then so that they'll be able to take action against it. And this change in mindset is very powerful, not just learning a single tool, not just learning Python, but using Python to solve something. Second is building real world projects. The way we are used to learning is by looking at tutorials. Right? Tutorials are useful, but tutorials are not enough. Why? Because a tutorial teaches you steps, right? Do this, do this, do this, do this. It does not teaches you thinking. And real world projects, it teaches you thinking. Why? Because it forces you to make decisions on your own. Where should I store the data? How should I clean it? What if some values are missing? What if duplicates exist? How should I model the tables in the production layer? How should I document the work? Uh, that is where real learning happens. Third is use AI as your teammate. Absolutely, I say do not avoid AI. Use it as much as you can, but use it not like, I'd say use it like a professional, right? Ask AI to help you. Once it gives you an output, test the output. Ask AI once AI gives you an output, ask AI to explain the output. Why did it come to that particular decision, right? Then verify the explanation with the output also. You can do things like that. You can do things like, asking AI to improve your code, right? To find bugs. In essence, you should be able to, make use of AI to speed up your work. But the thinking part, should be retained by you. It's only helping you to speed up your work. And finally, focus on depth over breadth, which basically means that there are too many tools in the tech domain. One tool may be popular today, tomorrow another tool will become popular. And if you keep jumping from whichever tool is the flavor of the month, you will always feel like you're behind. Instead of jumping over all of those tools, build strong foundation. So you have your SQL, Python, data modeling, building pipelines, data quality, AI usage, you have a communication, and some cloud basics. So once your foundation is strong in these things, learning a new tool will become much, much easier. And finally, your portfolio. Create a visible portfolio. This is very important. Your portfolio is your new resume, right? Whenever you write a resume or if you have a resume, your resume basically tells people you know these things, right? But what a portfolio does is that it portfolio basically tells other people that, okay, this is something that you built, right? So use GitHub, use LinkedIn, write posts about what you are learning, share your projects, explain your architecture that you have done in your projects in LinkedIn, explain your mistakes, explain how you solved those mistakes or corrected your mistakes. Don't wait, until your portfolio is completely clean, like everything is perfect, and then start talking about it in LinkedIn. Document your whole journey from when you started your portfolio till you have perfected. Because in this age of AI, people will not ask you, do you know Python? Do you know SQL? They will ask you, uh, if you know SQL and Python, can you explain so and so, or can you do so and so, or can you solve so and so business problems? And the only way to do that is by making use of your portfolio. Now, before closing, let's talk a little bit about where data career is going currently in the market. So we have this term called analytics engineer that is becoming very important. And this kind of sits between your data analyst and data engineer. Your analytics engineer basically is someone who understands SQL, transformation, modeling, matrices, and business logic. And they are able to help create clean and trusted data sets for reporting. And this role is becoming important because companies, they don't, they are not confined to the uses of just dashboards. They need reliable data behind those dashboards as well, right? Another role is data platform engineer, and this role basically focuses more on the backend system that is behind all of the data, right? So your storage, your pipelines, orchestration, monitoring, performance, all of those kind of things. And these are the people that build the platform that allows your data teams to work properly. Then we have your AI and hybrid roles. This is going to be a very important role going forward because companies sooner or later will need people who understand data and AI together. So preparing data for your AI systems, right? Maybe you want to create a text to SQL systems, maybe create AI ready data models, designing your semantic layers for AI consumption, um, all of those kind of things. And this is the area with the most biggest potential for data professionals. Why? Because AI is only as good as the data behind it, right? And so bad data will produce bad AI output. So data professionals who are going to work with AI is going to become even more important going forward. And another direction is decision focused role. So these are people who help the business make decisions, right? So what they basically do is that okay, here's something that happened. Here is here is something that happened. Here is why it happened, and here is what we should do next. These are the risks. Here are the recommendations. Those kind of things. And this is a very high value role, and so we can see that being a data professional is not just about coding. Yes, coding is still important, but coding only roles is going to be a little less popular than what it is right now. Essentially, you have these all of these four domains you are seeing. Compared to what we have now, you have kind of like an amalgamation of two or three different roles who can combine technical skills, business understanding, communication, and a little small, slight flavor of AI in there. Okay, so let me close my session today with this. So again, this was not a session to scare you. Why? Because AI is not going to replace data professionals. What AI is going to do is going to replace professionals who don't use AI, basically. Um, and this sentence is becoming very popular because we need to understand it properly. It does not mean that you should blindly depend on AI. It does not mean that the fundamentals are no longer important. What it means is that the more the AI becomes powerful, the more important your fundamentals become. Because if you are using AI and it is giving an answer, you need to know whether that answer is correct or not, right? So essentially, the future is going to belong to people who can combine the speed of AI with the judgment of human being, right? That is the winning combination going forward. AI gives you speed, you bring the context. AI is going to give the output, you bring your judgment. AI will give you suggestions, you are going to be responsible for that. AI will help you execute, you are going to decide if what matters in that execution. So don't sit there and think, is AI going to replace me, right? Instead of that, start thinking, are you going to be the kind of professional, tech professional who can use AI better than the other or not? Because that is where the real opportunity is going to be there for you. So essentially, the question that I'm going to pose to you is, are you evolving fast enough, right? And this is not to, again, um, this is not to scare you in any way, but rather more of an awareness session because the industry is changing, the tools are changing, so are the expectations. And if you adapt early, this can be one of the biggest opportunities of your career. And that's it for my session for today. Thank you very much. And I would like to end my session here and hand over the session back for the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time. Now we have second speaker for the day, Mr. Sudeep Shrestha. He will be sharing. He will be sharing insights on how to start a career in data engineering and explaining the key tools and technologies used in this field. So, hello, Sudeep, sir.
Yeah, hi, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'll quickly share my screen. I think I need to share the whole screen. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, so before I start, let me give you my quick intro. So, hello everyone, I'm Sudip Shrestha. I'm currently working as a technical lead here at Dlytica. I overwatch data engineering, data science, and analytics team overall from the tech side. And basically, I design big data platform, and I mean I architect it. I overwatch platform engineers as well as I think previous Lee Subhan sir talk about. So that's how I'm working right now. So I'll just basically talk about how to start data engineering. So when I was a fresher, I mean, how did I start the career is like I started with the data engineering. I basically was a data engineer, specifically Azure data engineer at my first role. And then after I started with data engineering plus architect, and then I think I went to the role as a platform engineer, and after that I went to tech lead. So basically, I'll just give you a quick overview on how to start data engineering and how did I start into the data engineering field. So when I was a student back in, I think, 3 to 4 years back ago, so I started with AWS and Azure for students, right? I think you guys, most of the guys here on today's session are mostly student. So I think you guys might have a student card or something like that, right? So you can start, I mean, you can get a free trial through the Azure for student and get started with data designing data pipelines using ADF or Synapse or Fabric in Azure. And about the AWS, I think if you put a credit card, I think some card, I think dollar card maybe, you can get a 150 USD trial so that you can start with data engineering on the cloud and other platforms like Informatica Cloud, and I think there are lots of section, but I'll just cover of these three here for the cloud. And if you want to explore open source tools like Apache tools, you can even get with it. So for that, I think you need to have a good spec of your laptop, and you can quickly spin up the tools and try it on your own self, right? So basically, I'll be talking about what is data engineering and what is the data pipeline journey and core tools and technologies that are mostly used by data engineers, and what are the cloud platforms and other open source ecosystems, and the learning roadmap. So basically, data engineer is the core responsible person to build a pipeline, or basically to design a system that basically collects the data from different sources. So mostly any organization or any businesses has lots of data sources. They might be on the databases like MySQL. They might have it in form of files like I think PDFs, CSVs, or any file system. And some of the organization like what do you call it, let's say telecoms, they are mostly highly advanced industry. So they mostly go with the real-time data analysis and things like that. So for that, they might the data engineer might need to work with unstructured data like that doesn't have a defined schemas like sensor data, IoT data, and like the different sorts of data that keeps on constantly changing and things like that. So those type of data needs to be collected and stored in a system so that that data can be further utilized on the business support systems and the AI. So think them as a you know plumbers of data, like I mentioned in this slide. I guess think of them as a plumbers of data. So they will have a pile of things like uh, we can simply connect pipe and pipe. That means pipe means we'll just add a flow of data connection, and we'll just collect all the datas and just put it in, bring it into a system. So the basic responsibilities for any data engineers would mostly like building the ETLs and ELT pipelines. So ETL pipelines are mostly used in traditional system where data are mostly source the systems are mostly relational. But in the today's world with advancement of any of every technology, right? We need to go with ELT pipeline. So in the ELT pipeline, we basically extract and load, but in the ETL pipelines, we extract and transform at the same time and load it into the system. And other responsibility includes designing warehouse. So warehouse is mainly for like business support systems, and they are mostly fed into the AI systems. And you need to optimize the query, right? So you need to write what do you call it? So write efficient queries so that the system doesn't lag, or the report that can be generated quickly. And other thing like data engineers should mostly focus on data quality and governance, right? So every data needs to be governed with any policies like GDPR policies. You have PII informations and things like that. And some other roles include managing the big data platform as well. So if you are a big data engineer, you have to like manage big data platform as well. So some sort of DevOps knowledge is also beneficial for any big data engineers. But if you are on the cloud data engineering section, then I guess you don't have to maintain any cloud infrastructure, right? So that depends on your role. But mostly, if you are a big data engineer for the on-premise solution, or let's say on a uh, cloud native solution, then you need to have some basic knowledge on that thing. So basically, this is like basic information of how a data pipeline journey works. So you just in the ingest section, you just connect to different sources. So mostly while working with the client, they will give you the DVs and the APIs. So mostly all the systems will be mostly connected via APIs, REST APIs, um, and the database connection string. But when working with the organization which has been since like 90s, then they will have a legacy system. So in that scenarios, mostly we need to connect those systems with JDBC connection. So which was mostly built on Java the technology or programming language at that time. So most of the system will be connected via REST APIs and things like that. And after that, you simply store in a system. So mostly storage in a big data, or in the current scenario of data engineer, they mostly store the data in object storage. Example, AWS S3 or ADLS and things like that. And once you store that data, you just transform it, based on the business logics. You design data models like dimensions and facts, and after that you serve it to any BI tools. So let's say most frequently or most popular tools that are being used is Power BI mostly. Analytics in the analytics section, the Power BI is mostly used there. So most of the reports and dashboarding things are done on the Power BI for any organization. So basically you have a two flows, right? So ETL and ELT. So the difference is we transfer before loading in ETL, and we load the raw data as it is in the ELT, and then after go with the scalable solution of transformation and things like that. So these are the high level basics. So going to the core technologies, right? So if you are getting started with the data engineering, you must have a basic knowledge of Python, right? You need to have like you need to understand how Python works and how to write a Python code, right? Obviously, right now AI can do things, but you copy paste the AI, and when it comes to debugging, you have no idea about the syntax, you have no idea about how Python works, then it might be a difficult task, right? It might be, hectic for you as well. And you need to grow smart with the AI. So not only use the AI, but you need to be smart enough to leverage AI on top of your knowledge. So you need to have the Python knowledge, and obviously SQL. SQL is the most required knowledge because it is the foundational knowledge. Python and SQL is the foundational knowledge for any data engineer, because when you write pipeline, obviously you write with Python. So mostly data engineers work with Spark, right? And Spark is combined with Python right now, so which is called PySpark in the traditional method, or in the uh, 5 to 6 years back, most of the pipelines were written with Scala and things like that. But today's time, I think Python are mostly used. That's why you need to have a knowledge about Python, so that you could write a PySpark code on top of any data pipelines. And obviously SQL, for data modeling design, you have to have a SQL. And you need to have a knowledge of how automation works, and how the data are moved from one system to another system. Things like that can be done from Bash or Shell script. So this is the foundational knowledge, like how automations are being handled in the back end. And for the advanced programming, I think Scala is mentioned here. So Scala, I think it comes under low priority, so Python would cover that section. And for the processing and streaming, mostly we use any data engineers or any organization, they mostly work with Spark. So it is widely used for both type of pipelines, right? So whenever we do batch ingestion, or whenever we do real-time ingestion, we mostly use Spark. And for other optional, we have Apache Flink and things like that. So every tool has its own feature. So but for now, when you get start with, you need to have a basic concept of Spark, how Spark works. And it is better to have a knowledge of DBT, right? So data build tool. So to understand Apache Spark with Python, you need to have a knowledge of Python. And to get start with your data modeling thing, so you need to have a SQL. And if you have a knowledge of SQL, then only you can get start with DBT, which is data build tool, that is mostly used in current data engineering professional. So about the orchestration, you need to understand basic of how Bash or Shell script work for any automation. What is cron job, like? So things like that, you need to have a basic knowledge. And on top of this backend, mostly orchestration GUI is based on this type of basic knowledge, like how the cron jobs work. Similar to that, this foundational knowledge helps you to understand about how GUI based or advanced orchestration system works. So mostly Airflow is preferred. It is also an open source, and it gives you ability to connect to different data sources as well. And it gives your pipeline a feasibility and scalability to run and debug your pipelines and things like that. So as previously I mentioned, so you have, since you are student, most of you guys are student or fresher, you can simply get start with any cloud like Microsoft Azure, and you can simply add your I think college ID card or something like that, and you can simply get $100 credit, and you can start building any ETL or ELT pipelines with Azure Data Factory or Synapse Analytics, or you can even use Spark. So Databricks is made on top. I think since you guys are interested in data engineering, you might have heard about Databricks. So it's built on top of Apache Spark, right? You can also get access with this $100 credit as well, and you can even use BI tool for Power BI as for visualization and things like that. And so if you are not student, you have a dollar card or something like that, and you can go with Amazon Web Service. You can simply log into AWS and add your dollar card information, and you can get a, I think, $150 trial, credit trial, and you can start designing pipelines, and you can start with any ETL or ELT pipelines using this system as well. And so if you don't have dollar card, if you don't have ID or something like that, then you can go with Informatica Cloud, where it gives you, I think, 14 days trial to start with any ETL pipelines. But Informatica Cloud is mostly made for ETL pipelines, so you can create ETL pipelines over there. And so if you don't want this method, what you can do is, if you have a strong, if you have a laptop which has like 16 gigs of RAM and 8 V cores, then you can simply start adding 2 or 3 tools, 1 to 2 tools on your own laptop, and you can start um, creating pipelines on your own laptop. Like you can use Apache Airflow for orchestration. You can install Apache Spark for data transformation and things like that, and you can start Apache Kafka for real-time streaming and things like that. So you can simply use these 3 tools, Apache Airflow, Apache Spark, and Apache Kafka, to make a quite understanding of how how to make a pipeline, and how data engineering pipeline works and things like that. So you can simply install this tool via Docker or any orchestration engine or any containerization system, or you can even install standalone in your laptop. I think if you go with the official documentation, you get the how to get started with this tool section over there, and you can quickly start. So if you have any confusion or things like that, I think you can even consult Dlytica Academy for this type of informations, and this type of technical guidance. I think Dlytica Academy as well as provides this facility for you guys to get started on your own laptop, as well as or on the cloud or anywhere. So just you can start from any. So it doesn't matter you have to learn Azure, right? So it doesn't matter you have to learn open source system. It's just you need to understand how the ingestion works, and what is the logics behind it, and how are the pipelines created, and how are the nodes connected with each other and things like that. And once you understand the core concept of engineering, then you can switch to any other platforms, or you can switch to any other stacks and so on. So to start with, you can start with any one of this method. I think I have mentioned 4 methods over here. So 3 for cloud and 1 for local system on your own laptop, and you can get started with this. So now, what your learning roadmap looks like for data engineering or any other fields. So if you are just getting started, then obviously if you are looking for any data analyst or data scientist role, or any analytics role or data engineering role, you need to have a basic foundation. So in basic foundation, you need to have a concept of Python data structures, right? Data types and data structure. And you need to have SQL fundamentals, like you need to know the DDL, DMLs command, and you need to know how to write, optimize query and things like that. And you need to know the concept of command line script or commands, because this could be useful while debugging your pipelines and things like that. And you obviously you need to know the concept of Git, and you need to know the concept of GitHub. How do you manage the codes? How do you manage your data pipelines? So how do you version control your pipelines? So um, you need to know how merge conflicts are solved. You need to know you need to understand how to create branch, and how to collaborate with other cross teams and things like that. So this comes under the foundation, and after you understand all these basics, then you can go with the data tools. So in the data tools, you can start with any tools that I mentioned. So for that, you need to if you go with a cloud platform, it's easy. You don't have to manage the tool, right? So if you go with data tools on your own laptop, then you need to manage your tool by yourself. So Airflow, Apache Spark, and Apache Kafka, these three of the mentioned tool can be enough for you to understand the data tools and how each data pipeline works. And after that, and you can start to explore any cloud solution, and then after you can start to create real projects. So uh, before you get into any interview section, so you need to build a proper portfolio. So you need to mention, like it's better to mention one or two projects, and it's better to have a certification, like DP900, which is Azure Data Engineer, right? But certification is not the most essential part, but if you have a certificate, you get a good chance of hiring. But you need to have a core knowledge of how the uh, engineering pipelines are made. So for that, you need to have one or two, maybe one at the minimum project in your CV, so that whenever the interviewer asks the question, they mainly focuses on the project based scenario question. So while you go on any job interview and things like that, so if you mention any projects that you have done it confidently, then you might have a better chance of being hired. Because when we interview, we mostly look for any experiences with the projects and things like that. So right now, coding can be done by the AI, right? But you need to have a critical thinking. You need to have a ability to solve problem and things like that. So this type of thing can be covered within your project. So you need to build real projects, data engineering projects. Then this could help you be in the tech industry. So for design, let's say for creating a projects, maybe you can create a real-time dashboarding system of, I think, stock markets, right? I think they will provide you the stock market APIs. Maybe you can consume data of stock market from APIs within some time frames, like 5 seconds gap, and you can pull the data out of it and visualize it on any visualization tools, or maybe using any libraries like Dash, Plotly, or something like that. You can make a simple portfolio by doing some real-time visualization, and you can even do data web scraping, and build a simple pipeline of scraping, and um, take those data and fit into some BI tools like Power BI and things like that. So while designing a dashboard, you could even sign up in the Power BI, and it can give you up to 60 days trial for the basic user, and you can even simply try designing dashboards and things like that. So you will get 60 days free trial, I believe, when you sign up for the first time in Power BI. So I think that's it from my side. So if you are looking into the data engineering field, you need to start with Python and SQL and leverage AI on top of this Python and SQL skill that you have. And then after, you can start with creation of data pipelines, data tools, and things like that. So thank you. Over to you, Samiksha.
Thank you, sir, for your time and guidance. Now, I would like to invite our founder or CEO of Dlytica Inc., Mr. Assis Parazuli, to share his insights and valuable thoughts with us. Hello, Assis, sir.
Hello, Samiksha. Hello, everyone. Sure. Thank you, Samiksha. First of all, thank you everyone for joining our session. It's pleasure to see you that you guys are growing, learning, and uh, uh, especially like the era of AI, you guys are catching up and trying to decide where to go. And but first of all, I'd like to congratulations you to you know to have the session completion for the first month. Now you guys are moving to the next part of the
साइन इन गर्ने हैन
A-
त्यो कपी गरेर हाल्ने
hello.
तिम्रो इम्पोर्ट गर्ने
होइन कि अनि एक्सटेन्सन
All right. I think guys are writing something on the board. That's interesting. Is it audible, Samiksha? Is it clear for everybody? Do you hear me well?
we
Yes,
can hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, first of all, like I said, so before I start saying anything about the guidance about how to choose the right career, the first of all, you have to think about what you are good at, and there is no one single choice of the career. It's about data engineering or data science or data engineering or anything. It's these the all courses these days are kind of uh, not part of the like different ecosystem. They are all one ecosystem, one data and AI ecosystem. So maybe in future, who knows? It can be like a fully stack data and AI engineer, or it could be fully stack AI engineer. There could be that chance. So there is no single formula how you select the right course or something, but it's only about, especially there are a few things I think already Suvom and Sudev and our team already should have mentioned you about the some details. There is small thin line, or there is a small or thin line between these three courses, especially if you are good at programming, if you love exploring the tools and tech, like installing the tools and so on, then maybe engineering could be the right fit for you. uh, uh, let's say if you love storytelling, if you love um, like, especially if you are good at storytelling, if you love to understand the business domain, it could be banking domain, it could be insurance or telco. Let's say if you have some kind of a bank domain expertise, or you are interested in the domain knowledge, then if you want to pair up with the technology, then that's what it comes data science, usually. But
that also involves machine learning model building. It also involves some sort of mathematics, not too mathematics heavy though, but you need to learn a little bit of mathematics, And if it's if you, let's say, analytics, if you want to be analytics, you definitely need to know, let's say, some kind of at least SQL query knowledge, SQL knowledge, or Python. Somehow Python, not, you don't need to be expertise on that. At least you need to know the Python knowledge, and some kind of a BI tools, like Superset. I think you guys already saw about the Superset tool. If you know Superset, or and you can create a charts and dashboards, and you can create reports, especially by especially the idea is to extract the insights out of the data. So, but that is not end of all. You can always switch between these courses. You can, if you are in data engineering, if you're working as data engineering, you can always adopt the AI skills. If you are doing data science, you can adopt skills of data engineering or data analytics. So there is a you can mix, or you can choose any course now that you could be interested in. The future, you can brush up yourself with the rest of other courses. I think that's already clarified. um, so what else I could be saying? Did we do the Q&A session yet, by the way? Samiksha or anybody?
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay. Then I think interesting session is on the way. I think it's better if we go for that part and start getting the questions from you guys. Like once Samiksha will let us know. But I think that's all from my side. First, I want to again wrap up my statement saying that there is no right formula, or there is nothing as such that you don't need to do all of those courses. But now, to focus yourself in a specific segment of the course, usually in market there are roles called data engineers, either there are role called data scientists or analyst. They hire for you for specialized roles. So it's better to become, or better to target one roles rather mixing all. And if you mix all, it could be master in none and jack of all. So better to specialize in one domain. One domain, you can choose one of the domain, but definitely will be helping you to clarify more throughout the Q&A session as well. Yeah, that's all from my side, and all the best for upcoming career. And we wish you'll be working with us or our partner affiliates, or you could be doing better in your current career. Yep.
Thank you so
Samiksha,
much,
that's all.
sir. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, sir. So to explain the remaining part, I would now like to hand it over to Briksha. Hello, Briksha, you there?
Hello, Samiksha. Thank you. Good evening and warm greetings, everyone. I am Briksha Thapa, Digital Marketing Associate here at Dlytica. Talking about Dlytica Inc., Dlytica is a high-tech organization specializing in AI, big data, machine learning, and cloud-based solution, delivering measurable impact to clients worldwide. We have global presence in Canada, USA, and Nepal, with 200 plus clients across sectors including telecom, banking, healthcare, insurance, and government, and 100 plus successful projects, 40 plus technology partners, 10 plus year of excellence, and 200 plus experienced professional. Our work areas focus on architecture, artificial intelligence, big data, DevOps, and MLOps, data governance, operationalization. Together, these divisions form the foundation of delivering complete, scalable, and advanced data-driven solution. Now, talking about Dlytica Academy, Dlytica Academy is a modern data and artificial intelligence training institute focused on bridging the gap between academic learning and real-world industry requirements. Its mission is to transform learners into job-ready professionals who can confidently work in data-driven and AI-powered environments. The courses we offer are data science, data analytics, and data engineering. We also offer additional professional courses such as DevOps, cybersecurity, quality assurance. These upcoming courses are scheduled to begin on July 21, 2026. All our courses are designed with a strong focus on practical learning, real-world projects, industry readiness, career-oriented skills development. We proudly work with clients across multiple industries, helping them solve real-world business problems using data and AI solutions, as you can see on the screen. We are supported by strong industry partners who helps us maintain quality innovation and real-world alignment in our training and services. Now we'll move to the Q&A session. We welcome all participants to ask questions and engage with our speakers. हजुरले इङ्ग्लिस नेपाली जुन ल्याङ्ग्वेजमा हजुरलाई इजी फिल हुन्छ आफ्नो क्वेरिजहरू राख्न सक्नुहुन्छ.
Hello everyone, can I start with the question?
Sure. Feel free to turn on your mic and ask questions. You can also drop your questions in the chat box, but it's better if you can open your mic and stay here. That would be great.
So one of my question is, we know that high quality data, human data is finite in some sort of. So what I want to ask is, will ever that period will start in future that AI might start learning from AI? I mean, a lot of data might be, a lot of training data might be from those content that are generated from AI only. So how shall we approach that? I mean, as a data engineer or a data scientist, how shall we start data cleaning, or maybe uh, look for origin of the data? So how shall we approach?
Maybe can you repeat your question, please? Maybe nobody picked up the question. But can you try again?
Yeah, okay. My question, what I want to ask is, will at some point in time in future, will AI start learning from the data from AI? And oh, that will never happen, because what I feel is, human data is finite, and yeah, and at some point in time, AI might start learning from AI. I mean, not all, but in some parts and some corners, it will happen. And in that case, how shall we approach the training AI or training models or something like that? I mean, how shall we look for the origins of data, or even from those data that are generated from AI, shall we start picking the quality data and then start training? How shall we approach?
Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting question. You are delving into the future of AI. I think that for sure is possible that AI will train AI, and now interestingly, AI is writing AI applications. AI is already writing AI application. AI generated data is being used in AI training. That's norm, as long as data, if the data is well enough, or is bringing the intelligence for the AI to train, then should not be a problem, right? But your concern was whether or it's synthesized data. If that's your concern, then like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's synthesized or it's an original data, as long as if it's delivering your model training, then should not be a problem. To clarify again, good point. So as your concern should be what problem you are trying to solve. Let's say if you are working for your business or if you're working for some customers, let's say if you're working for banks, working for telcos, what problem they're facing, how can your AI solve the problem, and how you bring the data, whether it's customer transactions data, whether it can be customer information data or historical transactions, or if it's a telco, then there are call detail records that you could be bringing in. So essentially, for enterprises, you will be using the actual data instead of synthesized. But for some scenarios, if you want to train your model, if you want to optimize your model, then yes, you could definitely be leveraging synthesized data as well. But first question should always be what problem we are solving and whether or not we should be able to fine tune or train the if it's sufficient models with the sufficient data. Does that answer your question, Manoj?
Yeah, at some extent it does. Thank you.
Can I go ahead with my question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm joining the data engineering track, right? And I'm actually going to apply for jobs in the US, and I was there a month ago. So what I'm trying to figure out is the tools that we're going to learn here. Okay, are they going to be up to date and relevant for the US job markets? Because I even sat with a friend of mine, he was having an interview for the data engineering role, and the interviewer, they were asking like, okay, do you have any experience with Databricks? Or do you have experience? How many years experience do you have with Kafka, right? So the whatever the tools we're gonna learn here, are they gonna be relevant for the U.S. market, or we need to update? I need to update on my own.
So regarding the tools and technology, first of all, foundation knowledge is important. Okay, the platforms are basically how it does in different ways. It can be different. There can be different products like Snowflake or Databricks or Data Nature. So we also have our something similar product to Databricks, called Data Nature, and there could be other product like Snowflake and so on. So it's the question should be is first of all, throughout your learning process, first focus on the foundation, building the foundation. Then second stage is about running across like different platforms. Let's say some companies focus on Snowflake, some company focus on Databricks, some company focus on Data Nature, some company focus on their own. They will deploy their own tools and use it, and it can be open source. So start with the foundation knowledge, like I said, Python and SQL, and building data pipelines, orchestrating the ETL pipelines, creating the visualizations dashboards. Let's say that ETL can be done by different tools in the market. If you see, some people are using DBT, some people are using Spark, some people are using plain SQL queries. So there are multiple tools to use it. But like I said, if you just spin around different tools, it doesn't solve the problem. First, start with the foundation. So in our program, we'll be focusing you on the popular tools in the market. That's like DBT, SQLs, and the Airflow for the orchestrations, Superset for the BI. And like if you go to different BI tools like Power BI, it is the same concept. If you use the Airflow and orchestration, if you are building already, if you're already doing DBT based ETL pipelines, then whether you go to Databricks or Snowflake, the story is same. So build the foundation throughout the initial program, and later you can always brush up your skills with those specific tools. And for sure, every company has different interest of tools and applications. But if you know the foundation, you'll be able to answer it. So they don't in interviews. Let's say being a company, we don't expect you to learn all the tools, but we expect you to know the basics, or if we expect you to know the foundation knowledge. Let's say in data engineering, you'll come up with later, but what is the incremental model versus what is the full load model? What is the full load? What is incremental? What is dimension table? What is the fact tables? If you are able to build that in one environment, then next environment or different other platform, it's just matter of knowing the tools, how where to click. You got a point?
Yeah, I got the point. I mean, I was just more curious about the tool wise, right? Tool wise, like whatever tools we cover here, you think that's gonna be, if I get the basics, right? If I understand them, will that be enough? Like, yeah, the tool, I'm just talking about the tool wise, whatever tools we're gonna use.
Yeah, that should be enough. That should be enough. We have designed a course in such a way that you'll be able to know the foundational platform, and out of and definitely uh, as per job requirement, you might need to be able to brush up yourself to the specific job roles, but foundation will be the same for you. Fair point. And the and for sure, if you like, let's say in an interview, they don't have to specifically have you done Databricks project sometime. They, even if not, how we ask you as an interviewer is, what project you have done before? Have you built any ETL pipelines? Have you done any data engineering projects? Have you done any data science project or any analytics project? We ask you the specific project, then we drill down. How did you do it? We ask you the basics of it. Then that.
Oh, okay.
Even like,
So
yeah,
you would ask like what tools you use for that kind of?
Yeah, exactly. And we try to understand your understanding of engineering, real engineering. We want to understand your understanding of machine learning models or data science if you are a data scientist. So it doesn't matter of the tools, but like I said, once you finish the course and specific to the role, you may be able to mold yourself, brush up yourself, and update the resume in such a way like how the business are looking for. But it's very quick and easy to understand that specific platform if you know one platform. Switching to other or understanding other platform, it doesn't doesn't take much time. Let's say to learn the basics, like to learn the foundational knowledge, to learn the overall engineering, it takes 3 months. Then switching or understanding other different platform maybe take 1 week, because you just need to compare. Okay, this was the concept in another platform, what is the concept in this platform? You just need to compare. It's like, if you know the Python, then you'll be able to know the Java. Let's say if you are able to program well in one programming language, learning other is kind of comparing thing. It's like that.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
So there is a question in chat box by Miraz Bojrasare. His question is, can we start in data analytics and then move on to data engineering?
The answer is yes. There is no, like I said earlier, there is no formula that you cannot do one versus other. You can do all. You can do one of them now, and you can brush up yourself to another later. There is there is no any problem. You can start with analytics, and you can always add on your skill to engineering. But keep in mind that if you just try to be jack in all, then interviews and so on could be a little bit tricky, it's for you, because you haven't given any focused knowledge, interest or focused study yet. So it's better to focus on one than thinking about switching here and there at the moment. Maybe in next 6 months or 1 year down the line, if you could be able to always add up skills, but at least for now, start thinking about one course. But if the career brings you an opportunity in engineering, why not? You could brush up yourself and start doing on another course, another role, right? Uh, but it's up to you. So you
Sir,
can feel free to choose one.
sir, and what about analytics engineer? What's the difference between analytics engineer and data engineer? Like, how hard would it be to switch off between these?
So your voice is not clear. Uh, can you repeat the question?
So I would like to ask about the analytics engineering. Like, अब हामीले data engineering र analytics engineering भनेको different कुरा भयो. अब data analyticsबाट अब त्यो तपाईँले भने जस्तो 6 months 1 year पछि analytics engineer त्यस्तोमा ट्रान्सफर गर्दाखेरि कतिको फिजिबल हुन्छ र कतिको गाह्रो हुनसक्छ?
यस्तो जस्ट स्विचिङ चाहिँ अघि मैले भने जस्तै स्विचिङमा त्यस्तो धेरै अहिले क्रेजिली सोच्नुपर्ने अवस्था छैन. यु क्यान स्टार्ट विथ वान कोर्स एन्ड एनालिटिक्स र इन्जिनियरिङमा स्विच गर्नको लागि चाहिँ देयर आर लट अफ ओभरल्यापिङ नलेज, देयर आर लट अफ लाइक there is a overlapping tools, overlapping concept, and so on. So extending knowledge base on other course, other track is not of that a big deal. So analytics ma just the more focus on say you'll be SQL, Python knowledge bhaya pugcha प्रोग्रामिङ पर्सपेक्टिभमा. बट दिज डेज यो प्रोग्रामिङको डिपेन्डेन्सी पनि यो एआईले गर्दाखेरि अझै पनि डिपेन्डेन्सी कम भइसकेको छ. सो योर स्ट्रेन्थ विल लाइज अन ब्रिङ्गिङ अप द पर्सपेक्टिभ्स, ब्रिङ्गिङ अप डेटामा चाहिँ मैले कसरी इन्साइट्स निकाल्न सक्छु, के निकाल्न सक्छु भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ होइन. तर कोडिङ भन्ने चिज अब चाहिँ लगभग इफ यु हेभ अ बेटर प्रब्लम सल्भिङ स्किल एन्ड यु हेभ द बेटर डोमेन नलेज देन राइटिङ दिस डेज इज नट अ बिग डिल. Okay, that's why I said in the beginning that future-मा एउटै हुन सक्छ, full stack AI engineer, full stack data engineer, full stack data and AI engineer भनेर पनि जान सक्छ. So no worries at the moment, but start with the one course. Start with whichever course you want. But data engineering is more of like data pipelines बनाउने, data collect गर्ने, डेटामा चाहिँ के इस्यु आयो भनेर हेर्ने, रन गरिरहेको पाइपलाइन चाहिँ कहाँ चल्यो चलेन भनेर हेर्ने होइन, डेटा वेयर हाउस कसरी क्रिएट गर्ने भन्ने खालको माइन्डतिर जान्छ भने एनालिटिक्स भनेको मोर अफ लाइक एनालाइसिस गर्ने, अघि मैले भने जस्तो पर्सपेक्टिभ ल्याउने, इन्साइट्स निकाल्ने, सो त्यस्तोतिर फोकस गर्छ क्या उसले चाहिँ.
एनालिटिक्स इन्जिनियर भनेको चाहिँ
एनालिटिक्स, डेटा एनालिटिक्स भनेको त्यही हो, तर सम अर्गनाइजेसन्स आर ब्लेन्डिङ द टु रिसोर्सेस. कस्तो हुन्छ भने कहिले काहीँ चाहिँ कुनै कम्पनीहरूमा चाहिँ स्पेसलाइज रोल्सहरू हाल्दैन क्या, इन्जिनियरिङ एनालिटिक्स साइन्स भनेर टिम नछुट्याएको हुनसक्छ. अनि समटाइम जस्ट एउटा मान्छेलाई लिएर आएर उसले रिपोर्टिङहरू पनि गर्छ, पाइपलाइन्सहरू पनि बनाउँछ. त्यस्तो खतरा पाइपलाइन ठुलो पाइपलाइन नहुन सक्छ, तर ठिकै उसले दुइटै काम गरिदिन्छ भने इट्स ओके, एज लङ इज कलेक्टिङ द डेटा, preparing the data pipelines and creating some insights, that should be fine. भनौँ न एउटा इन्जिनियर एनालिटिक्स इन्जिनियर भनेर काम लगाइदिनु सक्छ क्या. सो डिपेन्ड अन यो अर्गनाइजेसनको रोलमा पनि डिपेन्ड हुन्छ. कहिले काहीँ चाहिँ उनीहरूले एउटै मान्छे मात्रै हायर गर्न सक्ने एपेटाइट हुनसक्छ अर्गनाइजेसनको रिक्वायरमेन्ट चाहिँ. सो त्यसरी एनालिटिक्स इन्जिनियर भनेर पनि राख्छ, तर कसैले डेटा एनालिस्टलाई एनालिटिक्स इन्जिनियर पनि भनेर भन्छ. सो यो चाहिँ अर्गनाइजेसनमा डिपेन्ड हुन्छ हुन चाहिँ. तर मैले भने हुन्छ एनालिटिक्स भनेको एनालिटिक्स हो क्या डेटा एनालिस्ट भने जस्तै हो
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
हजुर सुनिरहेछ
Sir, मेरो चाहिँ question is like when somebody says that we need to learn the foundation first, होइन जस्तै अब फर्स्टमा you need to start with Python, you need to start with SQL. तर what I think sir होइन फाउन्डेसनको लागि चाहिँ यो how do you see the foundations अनि सरले के भन्छ जस्तै अब मानौँ Python SQL भन्दा पनि सुरुमा चाहिँ what I think is knowing how like things like computer architecture यस्तो कुराको basic knowledge like how networks work अनिखेर अनि ब्राउजर कसरी वर्क भइरहेछ कुराहरू कतिको इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ सुरुमा बिफोर इभन स्टार्टिङ लर्निङ पाइथन because these languages are abstraction which are making which are there to make people feel easy to interact with system होइन सर अनिखेर so also so let me set some context so सर मैले सुरुमा I'm very much interested in this data engineering thing so the first thing that I started learning was I started jumped into distributed systems there I learned about something like Spark for example and the hype around Spark was because it was doing in-memory computation and it was because and why and when there was I was asking question like why it is fast so it is because the RAM it is storing things RAM so RAM is faster than disks but understanding why actually the RAM is faster than disks going to a lower level then coming up and learning these systems will help me or you just start learning Python SQL Spark and try just to discern all those jargons or so I just wanted to ask sir how much understanding of this computer architecture networking because also working in cloud the concept of VPCs all those things because at the end of the day when we are launching something it is usually it usually fails because some networks are not being accessed for example if there is something that I've said private and I'm trying to access from public point of view then those things doesn't work sir so it's much how much of this computer architecture knowledge in networking things comes up before even starting learning Python SQL.
Okay, so hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so त्यो यो क्वेसनको आन्सर चाहिँ म दुई पार्टमा लिन्छु एउटा पार्ट चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि अब यस डेफिनेटली टेकमा काम गरेपछि अलिकति जति ब्रडर नलेज भएको जति ब्रडर नलेज हुन्छ हाम्रो त्यति बेटर हुन्छ स्पेसली वेन इट कम्स टु डिबगिङ स्पेसली वेन इट कम्स टु सिस्टम डिजाइनिङ होइन तर जस्ट वेन युआर स्टार्टिङ टु लर्न समथिङ होइन यो त्यसरी ब्रड लेन्थमा गयो भने धेरै केचाकुचुक हुन्छ कि अनि द बेस्ट थिङ द्याट यु क्यान डु इज एउटा भर्टिकल पक्रेर त्यसमा मास्टरी गरिसकेपछि विथ टाइम अलिकति त्यो नलेज चाहिँ नि क्युमुलेट हुँदै जान्छ कि बिस्तारै बिस्तारै अब डेटाको जुन भर्टिकल्स हाम्रो तीनवटा भर्टिकल छ डेटा एनालिस्ट डेटा इन्जिनियरिङ डेटा साइन्टिस्ट त्यसमा चाहिँ नि हामीले कस्तो हुन्छ भने प्रब्लम सल्भिङ मेन्टालिटीलाई चाहिँ नि एड्रेस गरेर हाम्रो कोर्स डिजाइन गरेको छ होइन अब त्यो प्रब्लम सल्भिङ गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कुनै पर्टिकुलर प्रब्लममा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि के प्रब्लम आउन सक्छ त्यसमा चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ के हेर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यसरी चाहिँ हामीहरू कभर गर्दै लान्छौँ होइन तर त्यो फन्डामेन्टल लेभलमा अब नेटवर्किङ डेटाबेस फाइल्स अपरेटिङ सिस्टम त्यसरी सबै कुरा लिएर जाँदै गर्ने हो भने हामीले डिजाइन गरेको 3 महिनामा त मरिकै भ्याउँदैन द्याट इज लाइक अ फुल फ्लेज कोर्स वर्क नै हुन्छ लाइक सेमेस्टर टाइपको कोर्स वर्क नै हुन्छ द्याट इज नट पोसिबल सर्टन लेभलमा हामीहरू कभर गर्छौँ बाँकी भनेको चाहिँ नि इट विल डिपेन्ड अपन यु। कति सिनारियो कस्तो पनि हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि पढेकै गरेकै कुराहरू रियल लाइफ सिनारीमा देखिन्छ हेरिन्छ भने थाहा हुँदैन होइन। एउटा कुरा त्यो भयो। अर्को कुरा के हो भन्दाखेरि यति धेरै इकोसिस्टम छ, यति धेरै टेक्नोलोजीहरू छ, सबै कभर गरेर पनि भ्याइँदैन होइन। एउटा इस्यु एजरमा भइरहेछ भने सेम इस्यु एडब्लुएसमा भइरहेको हुनसक्छ होइन। तर त्यहाँको टर्मिनोलोजी, त्यहाँको टेक स्ट्याकले गर्दाखेरि त्यो फिगर आउट गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ कि। अनि त्यो अब डकुमेन्टेसन हेर्दै आफैले फिगर आउट गर्दै जानुपर्ने हुन्छ। सो डजन्ट म्याटर इभन इफ वी टिच यु होइन द फन्डामेन्टल्स अफ क्लाउड प्रोभाइडर लेट्स से होइन, भोलि गएर अब तपाईँहरूले काम गर्ने कम्पनीमा त्यो क्लाउड प्रोभाइडर काम नै हुँदैन भने अनि के गर्ने त होइन। त्यो भन्ने बित्तिकैमा हामीले अब एजोर एडब्लुएस के अरे अरू जति पनि क्लाउड प्रोभाइडर छ सबै त पढाएर साध्य नै हुँदैन होइन। त्यसरी कोही पढ्दैन पनि, त्यसरी कोही सिक्दैन भने के। सिक्ने र पढ्ने कसरी हो भन्दाखेरि, लर्न कसरी गर्ने भन्दाखेरि एउटा भर्टिकल पक्र्ने हो, त्यो भर्टिकलमा मास्टरी गर्ने हो। त्यसपछि अनि आफ्नो काम गरिरहेकोमा चाहिँ त्यसको अल्टरनेटिभ के छ त्यो चाहिँ नि आफै एकचोटि रिसर्च गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। अनि अर्को लेभल भनेको चाहिँ काम गर्दै जाँदाखेरि यु स्टम्बल्ड इन्टु सर्टन स्पेसिफिक प्रब्लम्स अनि यु विल हेभ टु फिगर द्याट आउट बेस्ड अन यर हुन्छ नि सिस्टम लेभलको थिङ्किङ जुन जसमा चाहिँ हामीहरू काम गर्छौँ त्यसमा चाहिँ हामीहरू काम गर्छौँ होइन। सो त्यो सिस्टम लेभलको थिङ्किङमा बसेर ओके आई एम फेसिङ दिस प्रब्लम बट आई हेभ नट लर्न अबाउट इट, तर दिस प्रब्लम फिल्स लाइक अ डिफ्रेन्ट प्रब्लम इन अ डिफ्रेन्ट इन्भाइरोमेन्ट। त्यो कनेक्सन गर्ने बित्तिकै इट बिकम्स अ लट इजियर। सो हामी चाहिँ त्यो अप्रोचमा जान्छौँ, त्यसरी नै कभर गर्छौँ होइन। आई होप द्याट आन्सर्स द क्वेसन।
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Sorry.
So I have one more question, and that is kind of a out of topic or something. So can I ask
Yeah, sure.
about a bit work-life balance or something?
Yeah, sure.
So I've worked as a full stack web developer for about a year, and I want to just switch the career, right? So there were some period when I used to feel mentally exhausting, and the tax was feeling a bit repetitive or something. So well, switching to the career of data science or data engineering or of whatever the data domain field. So how shall we manage those period? I mean, how shall we less feel burnt out and then make ourselves productive? What are your sessions? How do you manage your work life? So how shall you guide us as a junior that how shall we balance, I mean, life and work?
अब मेरो पर्सनल एक्सपिरियन्स भन्छु है त। 15 वर्ष भयो काम गरेको होइन। अनि मैले डेटा भर्टिकलमा अलमोस्ट एभ्री पोजिसनमा काम गरेको छु। आई स्टार्टेड एज अ डेटाबेस डेभलपर होइन। Then I moved into database administration. I worked as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. So almost सबै भर्टिकल्स नै मैले कभर गरेको छु होइन। अब अहिले त एकदम सजिलो छ यो कुराहरू पढ्नलाई, सिक्नलाई, बुझ्नलाई होइन। त्यतिखेर त अब हुन्छ नि युडेमीमा अथवा के अरे कोर्सेरामा कोर्स हेर्दै ट्युटोरियल्स हेर्दै सिक्दै पढ्दै गर्नुपर्ने हुन्थ्यो। एकदमै टाइम कन्ज्युमिङ हुन्थ्यो। त्यतिखेर त झन् गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो। अहिले त कति सजिलो छ भन्दाखेरि what I do is because of AI specifically होइन, यो रिपिटेटिभ टास्कहरू जति पनि छ नि, I try to make use of AI to हुन्छ नि do the work for me. Okay, the repetitive tasks छ भने pretty sure 90% sure that most of the repetitive tasks can be automated. अब मेरो काम भने चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि त्यो repetitive taskहरू automation भइसकेपछि त्यो automated task चाहिँ मैले भेरिफाई मात्र गर्ने हो। And that verification time doesn't take much doesn't make time। किन भन्दाखेरि त्यो भेरिफिकेसनको लागि टेस्ट स्क्रिप्ट्सहरू पनि एआईले नै लेखिदिन्छ कि। So I just have to sit there, automate the repetitive tasks, and then verify the output, and then push it to production. त्यो गरिसकेपछि I get enough time to हुन्छ नि दिनमा धेरै होइन half an hour 1 hour चाहिँ नि if I want to learn something, what I do is I try not to learn the syntax, I try not to learn the programming language, I try not to learn that. what I try to do is I think of an idea that may be already in one system. So let's say, for example, मलाई अहिले रस्ट प्रोग्रामिङ एकदम सिक्न मन थियो कि, त मैले के गरेँ भन्दाखेरि मैले चाहिँ एउटा इन्टरनल टुल बनाएको थिएँ फर हुन्छ नि. सो हाम्रो चाहिँ कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि एउटा डेटा वेयर हाउस कस्तो हुनुपर्छ भनेर एउटा सेट अफ गाइडलाइन्स छ कि. सो त्यो गाइडलाइन्स चाहिँ मैले एआईलाई दिएर एउटा टुल के बनायो भन्दाखेरि त्यसले चाहिँ डेटाबेस स्क्यान गरेर चाहिँ त्यो गाइडलाइन्सको अगेन्स्टमा चाहिँ नि अब स्कोरिङ गर्छ कि, सर्टन स्कोर दिन्छ. त्यो स्कोरको हिसाबमा चाहिँ नि आई हेभ टु भनौँ न भेरिफाई वेदर माई डेटा वेयर हाउस अथवा क्लाइन्टको डेटा वेयर हाउस चाहिँ हाम्रो गाइडलाइन अनुसार छ कि छैन भनेर. त्यो चाहिँ मैले पाइथनमा बनाएको थिएँ. त्यो पाइथनमा चाहिँ एकदम धेरै टाइम कन्ज्युमिङ थियो कि. सो रस्ट चाहिँ अलिकति फास्ट छ भनेर आई वान्टेड टु पोर्ट इट टु रस्ट. अनि मलाई रस्ट पनि सिक्नु थियो. सो मैले के गरेँ भन्दाखेरि विथ द हेल्प अफ एआई चाहिँ नि आई पोर्टेड द्याट टुल फ्रम पाइथन टु रस्ट. त्यो रस्टमा एआईले कन्भर्ट गरिदियो. मैले भेरिफाई गरेँ त्यसको आउटपुट. त्यसपछि त्यो कोड जुन लेख्यो एआईले रस्टमा होइन, मैले एक्सप्लेन गर्न लगाएँ अनि मैले पढेँ क्या त्यो कोड. त्यो गर्दाखेरि मेरो रस्टको नलेज इट वेन्ट फ्रम 0 to 50 इन अ विक. अब आफैले सिक्दै गर्ने हो भने 0 to 1 हप्तामा त रस्टको सिन्ट्याक्स र रस्टको त्यो प्रोग्रामिङ स्ट्रक्चर मात्र बुझ्ने टाइममा त रस्ट इज अलिटल कम्प्लिकेटेड नै भन्नु पर्यो होइन, त्यति स्ट्रेट फरवर्ड छैन, स्पेसली बिकज अफ मेमोरी म्यानेजमेन्ट. सो अहिले त त्यति सक्दो छ कि. अनि बेस्ट वे आई थिङ्क इज फर्स्ट इज रिपिटेटिभ टास्क छ भने अटोमेट गर्ने अनि भेरिफाई गर्ने अनि त्यसरी काम गर्ने. अर्को भनेको फ्री टाइममा चाहिँ नि नयाँ कुरा सिक्ने चाहिँ होइन कि मेक समथिङ आउट अफ इट होइन. इट डजन्ट ह्याभ टु बी ए प्रोजेक्ट, इट क्यान बी समथिङ फन, जस्ट फर फन होइन. मेबी मेक लागि युज गर्ने कुनै इन्टरनल टुल नै बनाए हुन्छ. अब आफै काम गरिरहेछ भने त इफ यु वर्किङ इन अ प्रोफेसनल क्यापेसिटी आफ्नो डे टु डे वर्कमा चाहिँ नि युज हुने कुनै एउटा कामै सानो प्रोजेक्टै बनाए हुन्छ कि. त्यही लाइक त्यति ठुलो केही बनाउनु पर्दैन. जस्ट लाइक हुन्छ नि लेट्स से फर इक्जाम्पल अब डे टु डे हुन्छ नि रिमाइन्डर्सहरू चाहियो आफूलाई. एउटा सानो एप्लिकेसन बनायो हुन्छ द्याट सेन्ड्स नोटिफिकेसन टु यर स्ल्याक च्यानल एज अ मेसेज होइन. त्यो मिस हुने चान्सेस एकदम कम हुन्छ. लाइक सम सिम्पल आइडियाज द्याट यु क्यान इम्प्लिमेन्ट अन ए डे टु डे बेसिस द्याट हेल्प्स यु. इट मेक्स लर्निङ फन एन्ड इट हेल्प्स यु लर्न अ लट अफ कन्सेप्ट होइन. अब स्ल्याकको इन्टिग्रेसन मात्र गर्ने हो भने त्यहाँ एपिआईको नलेज आउँछ, त्यहाँ मेसेज क्यू सिस्टमको नलेज आउँछ होइन. त्यो सो त्यसरी हेर्ने कि build something that incorporates a piece of system that you want to learn about and that you can implement as well. That is going to help you. त्यो गर्दाखेरि लर्निङ त्यो स्पिड चाहिँ नि एकदम छिटो पनि हुन्छ प्लस धेरै कुरा सिकिन्छ पनि. सो द्याट इज माई पर्सनल अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स हुन्छ नि लर्निङ एन्ड किपिङ योरसेल्फ अपडेटेड even when you have a full-time 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job, whatever it is.
Subhan sir, can I ask you a question about your work-life balance scope?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I used to work as an Oracle DBA, right? So you know how that goes. So I was always, like there could be a production issue, the database I was supporting. So maybe I would have to get up at 3 o'clock at night or like, maybe work on something at 12 o'clock. I've even spent the whole night, trying to upgrade an database. अनि यो यसमा अब मैले डाटा इन्जिनियरिङ फिल्डमा गयो भने so if I have everything, schedule everything on top, then यो 9 to 5 मात्रै त्यस्तो हुन्छ कि त्यो अरेकलमा जस्तो छ नि when you're a DBA, I mean, you always have to be ready to jump in त्यस्तो खालको हुन्छ.
अब DBA जस्तो नै त हुँदैन होइन, तर या देयर आर सर्टन सिनारियोज एन्ड टाइम्स होइन. अब इट डिपेन्ड्स कम्पनी कल्चरमा पनि डिपेन्ड गर्छ. तर यस अब डेटा इन्जिनियरिङमा एउटा पोजिटिभ त नभन्नु, एउटा फेलब्याक चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि you don't have अब critical system छ. अब let's say for example, just an example है, अब let's say you are working for an offshore company, company American छ, you are here in Nepal होइन. अब हाम्रो त राति भइसकेको हुन्छ उता बिहान बिजनेस आवर भइरहेको हुन्छ होइन अब हामीले बनाएको सिस्टमले चाहिँ नि उनीहरूको रिपोर्टिङ सिस्टममा डेटा फिड गरिरहेछ उता बिहान 9 बज्यो उताको बिहान 9 बजेको ड्यासबोर्डमा चाहिँ नि एरर आइरहेछ अथवा मेट्रिसेसहरू रङ देखिरहेछ अब त्यो किन रङ देखिरहेछ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो मेबी पाइपलाइन साइलेन्टली फेल भयो सम रिजनले गर्दा पाइपलाइनमा केही इस्यु आयो त्यसले गर्दाखेरि प्रब्लम भयो अब उनीहरूलाई त्यो 9 बजे त्यो रिपोर्ट फिक्स गर्नु नै छ भनेर त अब यहाँ राति 9-10 बजिरहेको हुन्छ उठेर गर्नै पर्यो त्यो काम होइन त्यो सिचुएसन हुनसक्छ होइन अब त्यो छैन भने चाहिँ अथवा त्यसलाई चाहिँ अभोइड गर्नलाई चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्दाखेरि सिस्टम चाहिँ अब हामीले यसरी डिजाइन गर्छौँ हुन्छ नि सो द्याट त्यो साइलेन्ट जुन फेल भएको छ त्यो साइलेन्ट फेल चाहिँ नि क्याप्चर भएर बसोस् हाम्रो लगमा र क्लाइन्टले थाहा पाउनुभन्दा अगाडि अथवा फिगर आउट गर्नु भन्दाखेरि हामीलाई इन्फर्म भइसकेको हुनुपर्छ द्याट ओके पाइपलाइनमा डेटा बिग्रेको छ है अथवा सोर्समा केही प्रब्लम छ है अथवा के अरे कुनै एउटा मर्ज स्टेटमेन्टमा चाहिँ केही प्रब्लम आएको छ है सो त्यो सिस्टम चाहिँ राम्ररी डिजाइन भएको छ भने त्यो प्रिएम्प्टिभ एउटा हुन्छ नि एक्सन चाहिँ लिन सक्ने सिचुएसनमा हामी राख्छ अब 100% हुन्छ नि सबै प्रब्लमलाई कभर गर्ने सिस्टम त बनाउन सकिँदैन तर डेटा इन्जिनियरिङमा कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि इभन दो यु कान्ट build a design that is like हुन्छ नि 100% fault tolerant but you can design a system where you can be sure that no हुन्छ नि error is introduced into the system त्यहाँ कुनै प्रब्लम भयो कि मेबी सोर्समा होस् मेबी बिजनेस लजिकले गर्दा होस् मेबी डेटाले गर्दा होस् केही प्रब्लम भयो कि तिम्रो सिस्टममा लग होस् र नोटिफाइड चाहिँ होस् कि त्यति भयो भने के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब हाम्रो पाइपलाइन त हाम्रो डे टाइममा कुदिरहेको हुन्छ डे टाइममा पाइपलाइन कुदिरहेको बेलामा उताको राति भनौँ न युएसको रातिमा हाम्रो यता डे टाइममा कुदिरहेको हुन्छ पाइपलाइन कुदाकुदै केही इस्यु आयो भने बाट हामीलाई स्ल्याकमा नोटिफिकेसन आउँछ कि र स्ल्याकमा नोटिफिकेसन आउने बित्तिकै हामीहरू त्यो के एरर थाहा भइहाल्छ त्यो एरर हामीले सल्भ पनि गरिदिन्छौँ एट द एन्ड अफ डेमा प्रब्लम सल्भ हुन्छ उता बिहान केही पनि इस्यु आउँदैन अब उताको डे टाइममा नर्मली उनीहरूको बिजनेस आवरमा पाइपलाइनहरू कुदिरहेको हुँदैन अनलेस इट इज अ रियल टाइम स्ट्रिमिङ सिस्टम अब त्यो रियल टाइम स्ट्रिमिङ सिस्टममा प्रब्लम आयो भने त अब त्यही हो जस्ट लाइक अ डिबिए हाम्रो पनि अब क्रिटिकल सिस्टम हो भने राति कल आइ नै हाल्छ तर डिबिए जस्तो हेक्टिक चाहिँ हुँदैन त्यति चाहिँ हुँदैन
So pretty much तपाईँको whatever responsibility you got, right? Data आफ्नो पाइपलाइनहरू त्यो ब्रेक भयो भने चाहिँ so you have to jump on it kind of.
Absolutely.
Alright.
So I have a question regarding data science. So as a complete beginner data science मा चाहिँ अब भनौँ न रियल कम्पनीजहरूमा एक्चुअली काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ डेटा साइन्सको रोल चाहिँ मोडल बनाउने स्क्रैचदेखि मोडल बनाउने हुन्छ कि भनौँ न भएको मोडललाई युज गरेर त्यसलाई केमा त्यो आफ्नै डेटामा ट्रेन गरेर बिजनेस इन्साइटहरू जेनेरेट गर्ने हो कि के हुन्छ खासमा डेटा साइन्समा चाहिँ अनि यो नेपालको केसमा चाहिँ यो डेटा साइन्सहरूको के भन्छ हायरिङ त्यस्तो भइरहेछ कि हामीले बाहिर नै भनौँ न ट्राई गर्नुपर्छ
अब एज अ डेटा साइन्टिस्ट बहुत काम हुन्छ होइन कति केसेसमा चाहिँ नि अलरेडी अभाइलेबल हुन्छ मोडलहरू त्यसमा चाहिँ नि अब आफ्नो डेटा फिट गरेर आउटपुट निकाल्नु पर्ने हुन्छ युज केस सिनारीहरू धेरै सिमिलर हुन्छ अब अलिक युनिक युज केस सिनारीमा चाहिँ नि फ्रम स्क्रच बनाउनु पर्ने सिचुएसन पनि हुन्छ अब त्यसमा चाहिँ नि कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि त्यो सिचुएसनमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि इट्स बेसिकली हुन्छ नि पिकिङ द राइट एल्गोरिदम द्याट ट्रान्सलेट्स द म्याथमेटिकल फर्मुला किनभने डेटा साइन्समा मोडल बनाउनु भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि एउटा म्याथमेटिकल फर्मुला हुन्छ त्यो म्याथमेटिकल फर्मुला चाहिँ एल्गोरिदममा ट्रान्सलेट मात्र गर्ने हो काम हो कि त्योभन्दा धेरै के बेसिकली एउटा इक्वेसन हो त्यो इक्वेसनलाई चाहिँ म्याथमेटिकल के अरे विच इज इन अ म्याथमेटिकल फर्मुला त्यसलाई चाहिँ एल्गोरिदममा कन्भर्ट गर्नुपर्ने हो त्यो पनि हुन्छ हुन त तर त्यो भनेको चाहिँ एकदमै स्पेसिफिक युज केस सिनारियो मात्र हुन्छ बाँकी सिनारियोहरूमा चाहिँ नि इट्स मोस्टली अबाउट which algorithm should I pick that is going to translate my business data into actionable insights? होइन जस्तो एन्ड मोस्ट अफ इट चाहिँ नि कस्टमर डेटासँग रिलेटेड नै हुन्छ त्यो त भयो फर्स्ट पार्टको आन्सर होइन। सेकेन्ड पार्टमा चाहिँ नि नेपालमा काम हुने भनेको चाहिँ मैले देखे अनुसार चाहिँ दुईटा काम भइरहेको छ। एउटा काम भनेको चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो जुन कस्टमर सेगमेन्टेसनको कामहरू हुन्छ, एउटा त त्यो हो। अर्को काम भनेको चाहिँ मैले देखेको चाहिँ लाइक कम्पनीहरूसँग आफ्नो डेटा छ होइन, अनि अब यो एआईको हाइप भइरहेछ नि त, हाउ क्यान वी युज एआई अन आवर डेटा होइन। अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ आरएनडी हुन्छ कि। सो कम्पनीको डेटा एक्सेस हुन्छ, कम्पनीको डेटा युज गरेर चाहिँ नि अब वाट क्यान बी डु विथ द्याट डेटा डेटा होइन। अब के अरे रिपोर्टिङ गर्ने कि मोडलिङ गर्ने कि प्रेडिक्सन गर्ने कि चर्न गर्ने कि क्लाइन्टलाई नै थाहा हुँदैन नि त। क्लाइन्टले भन्छ मसित डेटा छ, आई वान्ट टु युज एआई टु डु समथिङ। अब वाट टु डु उनीहरूलाई नै आइडिया हुँदैन। हाम्रो काम भने चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि वी टेक अ लुक एट द डेटा एन्ड देन वी से ओके वी क्यान मेक युज अफ एआई इन दिस वे। अनि एउटा पिओसी बनाएर उनीहरूलाई देखाउँछौँ, अनि आफ्टर द्याट वाट एभर पिओसी लुक्स मोर नि युजफुल टु देम, त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यसपछि फर्दर काम हुन्छ। त्यही दुइटा देखायो मैले चाहिँ अहिले नेपाली कम्पनीहरूमा।
अनि सर यो डेटा साइन्सको लागि हामी के कोडिङ धेरै गर्नुपर्छ कि म्याथ धेरै, भनौँ न धेरै म्याथ चाहिन्छ कि के छ, कि दुवै इक्वल्ली रिक्वायर्ड हुन्छ?
सरी वान्स मोर।
डेटा साइन्सको लागि हामीले म्याथमा धेरै नलेज चाहिन्छ कि कोडिङ पनि धेरै गर्नुपर्छ कि के छ, कि दुइटै पार्ट इक्वल्ली भनौँ न रिक्वायर्ड हुन्छ?
अब द्याट वुड डिपेन्ड अपन द काइन्ड अफ वर्क युआर डुइङ होइन, त्यो कस्तो खालको काम गरेको। अब फ्रम स्क्रच मोडलहरू बनाउने काम गर्ने हो भने यस, प्रोबाबिलिटी एन्ड स्ट्याटिस्टिक्स, म्याथमेटिक्स, इन्टिग्रल डिफ्रेन्सिएसन, प्रोबाबिलिटी स्ट्याटिस्टिक्स, यसको नलेज हुनुपर्ने हुन्छ। किनभने मैले पनि हालेँ म्याथमेटिकल इक्वेसनलाई लिएर हामीले एल्गोरिदम बनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ होइन। त्यो चाहिँ नि एकदम डिप लेभलको आरएनडी भयो। एउटा पार्ट चाहिँ त्यो हो। तर जुन अर्को पार्टको जुन मैले काम भनेको थिएँ, जुन कस्टमर सेगमेन्टेसनहरू गर्नुपर्ने अथवा प्रेडिक्सनहरू गर्नु भएको मोडल्सहरूमा डेटा फिट गरेर आउटपुट निकाल्नुपर्ने कामहरू छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ नि म्याथमेटिक्सको सर्टेन नलेज चाहिँ चाहिन्छ होइन। कस्तो नलेज चाहिन्छ भन्दाखेरि अलरेडी भएको मोडल छ, त्यो मोडलमा कुन इक्वेसन युज भइरहेछ, त्यसमा कुन प्यारामिटरहरूको काम के हो होइन। जस्तो फर एक्जाम्पल सिम्पल इक्वेसन वाइ इक्वल्स टु एमएक्स प्लस सी इज युज इन हाम्रो यो के अरे लिनियर मोडलिङमा काम लाग्छ कि। अब लिनियर मोडलिङमा वाइ इक्वल्स टु एमएक्स प्लस सी इक्वेसन काम लाग्छ होइन। अब वाइ इक्वल्स टु एमएक्स बी भनेको सी भनेको हामीले लाइक बेसिक एल्जेब्रामा पढेको इक्वेसन हो नि त। अब वाइको काम के हो, एमको काम के हो, एक्सको काम के हो, सीको काम के हो, यो हाम्रो एमएल मोडलिङ गर्दाखेरि पढिन्छ। अब त्यही बुझ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि वाइको एमएक्स प्लस सीमा हाम्रो इनपुट डेटा कुन इनपुट डेटा कुन पोइन्टमा गइरहेको छ र उनीहरूको इम्पोर्टेन्स के छ, कति छ, त्यो रिलेसनसिप चाहिँ हामीले थाहा पाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, बुझ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि। किन भन्दाखेरि अब सर्टन केसेसमा, यो चाहिँ सिम्पल इक्जाम्पल, सर्टन केसेसमा एउटा इक्वेसनमा फिट हुने जुन ऊ छ भ्यालुजहरू छ, अब सबैलाई कुन पोइन्ट डेटा पोइन्टलाई चाहिँ कतिको इम्पोर्टेन्स दिने त। वाइको एमएक्स प्लस सीमा कुन चाहिँ पोइन्ट मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ, वाइ मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ कि एमई मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ कि एक्स मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ कि सी मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ त होइन। त्यो चाहिँ हामीले के गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि फाइन ट्युन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि वाइलाई धेरै महत्त्व दिने कि एमलाई धेरै महत्त्व दिने कि सीलाई महत्त्व दिने कि अथवा कम दिने कि बढी दिने कि, त्यो चाहिँ हामीले अलिकति फाइन ट्युन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि। त्यो पनि हामीले सिक्छौँ हाम्रो डेटा साइन्सको कोर्समा होइन। कुन प्यारामिटरले के कन्ट्रोल गर्छ र त्यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी फाइन ट्युन गर्ने, किन फाइन ट्युन गर्ने, त्यो पनि हामी सिक्छौँ होइन। त्यो चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ। कोडिङ भनेको चाहिँ नि हाम्रो एक्चुअल मसिन लर्निङ मोडलमा काम गर्दाखेरि त्यति इम्पोर्टेन्ट छैन, किनभने मोस्ट अफ देम दे फलो अ सिमिलर टेम्प्लेट। डेटा साइन्समा मोडलिङको पार्ट इज लाइक 20% होइन, मसिन लर्निङ मोडलको पार्ट इज 20%। बाँकी 80% पार्ट भनेको चाहिँ नि डेटा कलेक्सन, डेटा प्रिपरेसन, अनि त्यसपछि हाम्रो फिचर इन्जिनियरिङ, त्यो पार्टहरू छ कि। द्याट इज मच मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट देन डेटा मोडलिङ। डेटा मोडलिङ त भेरी एकदम लाइक सानो पार्ट हो। त्यो बाँकीको पार्टहरूमा को लागि चाहिँ कोडिङ चाहिँ हल्का इम्पोर्टेन्ट नै छ, किनभने वी हेभ टु अब कहिले कहिले डेटा अभाइलेबल हुँदैन, डेटाको लागि चाहिँ कुनै एउटा सोर्स सिस्टम हुन्छ, त्यहाँबाट डेटा पुल गर भन्दैला, अथवा के अरे इन्टरनेटबाट डेटा स्क्रेप गरेर ल्याइदिए भन्दैला। अब त्यो गर्नको लागि त आउनु पर्यो नि त हामीलाई, सोर्स कनेक्ट गरेर डेटा पुल गरेर डेटाबेसमा हाल्नको लागि आउनु पर्यो, एपिआईसँग कनेक्ट गरेर डेटा पुल गरेर डेटाबेसमा हाल्न आउनु पर्यो, त्यहाँ कोडिङ चाहियो। अब डेटा क्लिनिङ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, डेटा ट्रान्सफर्मेसन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, फिचर इन्जिनियरिङ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, त्यसमा पनि हल्का कोडिङको नलेज चाहिन्छ। त्यो हुनैपर्छ भन्ने पनि जरुरी छैन, तर त्यो जति राम्रो नलेज भयो होइन, त्यति क्विकर हाम्रो काम हुन्छ। किनभने अगेन भनिहालेँ, डेटा साइन्समा मसिन लर्निङ मोडलसँग गर्ने काम भनेको 20% काम मात्र हो, बाँकी 80% भनेको आउटसाइड अफ त्यो डेटा प्रिपरेसनमै लाग्छ होइन। द्याट हेज टु बी भेरी गुड, त्यो एभरेज मिडियोकर काम गरेर पनि भएन, किनभने त्यो 80%को कामले चाहिँ नि विल डिक्टेट हाउ वेल युर मसिन लर्निङ मोडल विल गिभ द आउटपुट। सो त्यस्तो छ सिचुएसन चाहिँ।
अनि सर तपाईँको एक्सपिरियन्स अनुसार यो भनौँ न जुनियर लेबरहरूको लागि यो डेटा साइन्सको जब कस्तो छ, अलिक मार्केटमा कम्पिटिटिभ नै छ कि अनि अरू जस्तो अरू आइटीको कामहरू जस्तै के छ, कम छ कि?
डेटा साइन्सको लागि
हजुर,
कम्पिटिसन त अहिले सबै ठाउँमा त्यस्तै नै छ, टफ नै छ भनौँ न होइन। किनभने त्यही एक त अब एन्ट्री लेभलको लागि, जुनियर लेभल एन्ट्रीको लागि हो भने त्यति गाह्रो नहुन सक्छ होइन। किनभने एन्ट्री लेभल जुनियर बनिसकेपछि कम्पनीले हायर गरिसकेपछि उनीहरूको इन्टरनल मेकानिजम, इन्टरनल डेभलपमेन्ट वर्क, त्यो सबै ट्रेनिङ उनीहरूले दिएर 2-3 महिना सिकाएर पढाएर त्यसरी अगाडि ल्याउँछन्। सो त्यसमा त्यति कम्पिटिसन चाहिँ नहुन सक्छ। यस, एउटा लर्निङ एप्टिट्युड हुनु पर्यो होइन। अगेन मैले जुन अगाडिको सेसनमा भनेको थिएँ, मलाई यो गर्न आउँछ भन्दा पनि मैले यो गरेको छु, यो मैले एउटा प्रब्लम स्टेटमेन्ट सल्भ गर्नको लागि यो टुल युज गरेर यस्तो खालको सोल्युसन चाहिँ बनाएको छु, त्यसको आउटपुट यस्तो आउँछ भनेर देखाउन सक्यो भने द्याट विल अलरेडी टेक यु वान स्टेप अबभ द रेस्ट अफ द पिपल हु से मलाई पाइथन आउँछ, मलाई सिक्वल आउँछ, मलाई कोडिङ आउँछ भन्ने होइन। सो त्यो गर्ने बित्तिकै युआर अलरेडी अबभ द कम्पिटिसन। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि एन्ट्री लेभल जुनियर लेभलमा छिर्न एकदम सजिलो हुन्छ त्यसो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ। तर इन जेनरल कम्पिटिसन चाहिँ अलिकति बढी नै छ इन अल लेभल्स, नट जस्ट इन एन्ट्री जुनियर लेभल, अल लेभल्समै अलिकति कम्पिटिसन बढेको छ, विच अगेन इज बिकज अफ एआई होइन। मैले पनि हालेँ 5 years ago आइटी पढेको मान्छे मात्र आइटीको काम गर्थ्यो भने अहिले त्यो सिचुएसन छैन। नन आइटी ब्याकग्राउन्डबाट पनि आइटीमा छिरिरहेका मान्छेहरू छन्, and with the help of AI they are able to produce just as good work as people who have studied IT. So this is अहिलेको सिचुएसन छ।
हेलो सर, क्वेसन गर्न मिल्छ?
यस यस,
यो के अरे जस्तै पहिला भन्दा लाइक 3-4 years भन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ कम्पनीहरू चाहिँ इन्टर्नसिप मजाले खुलाइरहेको हुन्थ्यो होइन?
यस।
अनि अहिले लाइक त्यसको सिनेरीमा अहिले त इन्टर्नसिप त्यति धेरै कम्पनीहरूले खुलाउँदैनन्। अब त्यो खुलाएको पनि छैन लाइक त्यस्तरी डाइरेक्ट जबमा भनेर खुलाइरहेको हुन्छ। त्यसरी त न्यू बिगनरहरूलाई चाहिँ अलि लाइक छिर्नको लागि त गाह्रै हुन्छ होला नि होइन?
यस, आई कम्प्लिटली अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द्याट होइन। अब त्यो अगेन त्यसको रिजन पनि एआई नै हो कि। अब पहिला चाहिँ अब भनौँ न, लेट्स से अब मेरो कम्पनीमा मान्छेहरू चाहियो भने म चाहिँ नि अब इन्टर्नसिप दिएर ट्रेनिङ दिएर आफ्नो कम्पनीमा कसरी काम हुन्छ त्यो सबै सिकाएर होइन कुन टेक स्ट्याकमा काम हुन्छ त्यो सबै सिकाएर 2-3 महिनाको ट्रेनिङ गरेर त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ राम्रो पर्फर्म मान्छेलाई चुज गर्थे अब अहिले सिचुएसन कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि अब लेट्स से फर इक्जाम्पल इफ आई वाज इन युर पोजिसन होइन अब मलाई थाहा छ मलाई कुन कम्पनीमा काम गर्नु छ भने म रिसर्च गर्छु त्यहाँ त्यो कम्पनीमा केमा काम हुन्छ प्रडक्टमा काम हुन्छ कि सर्भिसमा काम हुन्छ कि कुन टेक स्ट्याकमा काम हुन्छ त्यही हिसाबले विथ द हेल्प अफ एआई गिटअपमा म पुस्ट गरिदिन्छु रिपोजिटरिजहरू युजिङ हुन्छ नि उनीहरूले नै गरेको प्रडक्ट अथवा टेक स्ट्याक युज गरेर सल्युसन्सहरू म गिटअप रिपोजिटरीमा पुस्ट गरिदिन्छु त्यो हेर्ने बित्तिकै त्यहाँको एम्प्लोयरलाई थाहा हुन्छ ओके यो मान्छेलाई अलरेडी थाहा छ हाम्रो कम्पनीमा के कस्तो काम हुन्छ के काम हुन्छ भनेर सो इट्स मच इजियर टु हायर दिस गाई और गर्ल देन टु हुन्छ नि ट्रेन समबडी फर 2-3 मन्थ्स के अब त्यस्तै हो इन्टर्नसिप पनि 1-2 जना होइन 10-15 जनाले गराइरहेको हुन्छ त्यो खर्च गर्नुको साटो त म एउटा मान्छे जसलाई अलरेडी त्यो टेक स्ट्याक बारेमा थाहा छ त्यसलाई हायर गर्छु त्यसले मलाई छिटो टर्न अराउन्ड दिन्छ भनौँ न त्यो 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 मेन्टालिटीमा गएको छ कि सबै कम्पनीहरू त्यही भएर पनि इन्टर्नसिपमा अलिकति घटेको छ ड्रप भएको छ अहिले so again that is like a learning point for all of you okay so job hunt गर्दाखेरि अथवा जब रेडी हुनको लागि चाहिँ के गर्नु पर्यो भन्दाखेरि पहिला त सर्टलिस्ट गर्ने कुन कुन कम्पनीमा आफूलाई काम गर्नु छ त्यसपछि रिसर्च गर्ने त्यो कम्पनी प्रडक्ट स्पेसिफिक हो कि सर्भिस ओरिएन्टेड हो त्यसपछि कुन टेक स्ट्याकमा काम गर्छ उनीहरू त्यो बुझ्ने हो अनि त्यो टेक स्ट्याकमा चाहिँ आफ्नो एक्सपर्टिज बढाएर गिटअपमा चाहिँ नि प्रोजेक्ट्सहरू बनाउँदै पुश गर्ने हो कि त्यो गर्ने बित्तिकै अनि त्यसपछि लिङ्क्डइनमा आफ्नो प्रेजेन्स राख्ने हो कि मैले यो सिकेँ मैले यो गरेँ यो काम गरेँ यो प्रब्लम सल्युसनलाई मैले यसरी ट्याकल गरेँ यसरी ह्यान्डल गरेँ यसमा यस्तो हुँदो रहेछ त्यो गर्ने बित्तिकै कति सिनारीमा त के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब मान्छेहरू खोजिरहेको हुन्छ नि त कम्पनीहरू यस्तो होइन कि उनीहरूलाई चाहिएको बेला मात्र उनीहरू पोस्ट राखिरहेको हुन्छ पिपल आर हुन्छ नि इन निड अन रेगुलर बेसिस त्यो उनीहरूको चाहिएको बेलामा इफ योर पोस्ट द क्या ओके यो मान्छे यसमा काम गरिरहेको रहेछ दिस पर्सन विल बी ए गुड फिट फर अस स्पेसली जुनियर एन्ट्री लेभलमा किनभने अलरेडी काम गरिरहेको छ अलरेडी थाहा छ यसलाई ट्रेनिङ पनि दिनुपर्ने हुँदैन 1-2 हप्ता इन्टरनलाइज गर्न मात्र टाइम लाग्छ इट्स दिस पर्सन इज अ बेटर हायर बेटर फिट त्यस्तो त्यस्तो अप्रोचमा जान्थेँ कि म भएको चाहिँ इन योर सुज एट दिस टाइम इन दिस एरा
तर अनि यो तपाईँलाई त लाइक प्रोफेसनलको हिसाबले त लाइक हजुरलाई यो तिनटै फिल्ड राम्रोसँग भिजिसक्नु भएको छ नि त होइन जबको हिसाबले पनि लाइक 15 इयर्स भनेको त थोरै होइन नि त अब त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ तपाईँले धेरै कम्पनीहरूमा पनि बुझ्नु भएको छ त अहिले चाहिँ करेन्टली अहिले जब गरिरहनु भएको चाहिँ डेटा इन्जिनियरिङ हो
डेटा इन्जिनियरिङ भन्दाखेरि पनि मेरो अन्डरमा मेरो टिममा डेटा एनालिस्ट डेटा इन्जिनियर डेटा साइन्टिस्ट 3जनाहरू छन् होइन म चाहिँ डेटा डिपार्टमेन्टलाई नै म्यानेज गर्छु आफ्नो कम्पनीको सो आई लुक एट all three. I also look at system and architecture. Cross-functional team को system design architecture मा पनि involved भइरहेको हुन्छु. So त्यो लेभलमा काम गर्दा हुन्छु म चाहिँ.
हुन्छ सर हस्.
Sure, sir. I got one more.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's say, for example, right, I want to work remotely for a US company, right? And so if I work remotely from Nepal, obviously I have to work the night shift over there. So how doable is it? Like, Oracle DBA, like the usually security or policy you cannot log in from outside the country भनेर इस्युहरू हुन्छ अनि यो हाम्रो डाटा इन्जिनियरको लागि चाहिँ how feasible is that or like how doable is that? I mean, can I go for that?
No, I don't think that is a problem. त्यस्तो प्रब्लम आजकलको सिनारीमा त्यस्तो इस्यु हुँदैन लाइक इफ यु आर द राइट क्यान्डिडेट त्यो प्रब्लमै हुँदैन प्लस आजकल लट अफ देम दे वर्क एसिङ्क होइन त्यस्तो टाइम सिङ्कमै काम गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने पनि छैन एसिङ्कमा काम गर्छ इभन दे प्रिफर डुइङ इट एसिङ्क होइन लाइक उनीहरूको बिजनेस डाउन टाइम अब उनीहरूको नाइट टाइम हाम्रो यता दिनभरि बसेर काम सबै सकाएर उनीहरूको बिहान रिपोर्टिङ गरिदियो भने इनफ भइरहेको हुन्छ कि इभन लाइक दे फाइन्ड इट बेटर रिमोट वर्क छ भने मोस्ट अफ द टाइम त्यही रिजनको लागि हायर गरेर हुन्छ, एसिङ वर्कलाई हायर गरेर हुन्छ क्या रिमोट वर्कको लागि चाहिँ। र अर्को भनेको त्यो आउटसाइड द नेटवर्क यो त्यो इस्युहरू इस्यु भन्दाखेरि पनि कति सिनारीमा त्यस्तो हुन्छ होइन, लाइक इभन एट आवर कम्पनी लट अफ क्लाइन्ट चाहिँ अब उनीहरूको VPN युज गरेर उनीहरूको नेटवर्कमा बसेर काम गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ क्या हामीले। सो घर अफिसमा बसो काम भइरहेको हुन्छ, घर आयो घरको नेटवर्कमा एक्सेस भइरहेको हुँदैन कहिले, किनभने अब अफिसको आइपी त हाम्रो स्ट्याटिक हुन्छ, चेन्ज भइरहेको हुँदैन। सो अफिसको आइपीलाई उनीहरूले अलाउ गरिरहेको हुन्छ बसेर काम गर्नु। अब घर आयो घरको आइपी स्ट्याटिक हुँदैन, डाइनामिक हुन्छ, कहिले कहिले चेन्ज भइरहेको हुन्छ। अब 1 महिना अगाडि मेरो एउटा आइपीलाई एक्सेस दिइरहेको थियो, घरबाट बसेर पनि काम गर्न मिलिरहेको हुन्थ्यो। अल अफ सडन आइपी रिफ्रेस भयो, अब मेरो नयाँ आइपीलाई उताको वायरलमा VPN-मा वाइट लिस्ट नै गरेको हुँदैन। त्यस्तो इस्युहरू आइरहेको हुन्छ। तर त्यो भन्दाखेरि पनि द्याट्स नट अ मेजर इस्यु। रिमोट वर्क छ भने दे अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड त्यस्तो सिनारीहरू, अनि त्यसको लागि दे विल ह्याभ सर्टन सल्युसन्स। उनीहरूको VPN थ्रु अथवा आफ्नै VPN थ्रु उनीहरूको नेटवर्कमा छिरेर अनि त्यसपछि त्यहीँ बसेर त्यही नेटवर्कभित्र छिरेर बसेर काम गर्ने सिस्टम पनि उनीहरूले प्रोभाइड गरिरहेको हुन्छ। सो अहिलेको सिनारीमा त त्यो रिमोट वर्कमा त्यो एक्सेसको इस्यु त खासै देख्दिनँ म।
होइन आई मिन लाइक यो त अब तपाईँको यहाँ हामीले काम गर्दाखेरि त नाइट सिफ्ट हुनु पऱ्यो नि त त्यहाँ होइन, डाटा इन्जिनियरिङको जब। अब तपाईँको अरेकलमा त यु बेयरली गेट एनी नाइट सिफ्ट होइन। त्यो मेन्टेनेन्सहरू ब्याङ्कहरूको भयो भने दे विल लेट यु डु द नाइट सिफ्ट, त्यो पनि तपाईँको विदिन द US नै हुनुपर्छ होइन अहिले मोस्ट अफ द कम्पनीज। अब यो डाटा इन्जिनियरिङको चाहिँ सो आई मिन दे आर प्रिटी फ्लेक्सिबल विथ द्याट देन राइट। अनि त्यो नाइट सिफ्ट चाहिँ यहाँबाट हामीले गरेर बिहानसम्ममा रिपोर्ट बुझायो त्यस्तो गऱ्यो भने त सो इट सुड वर्क।
ओके ओके। अब आई डोन्ट नो सर्टन स्पेसिफिक कम्पनीको त्यस्तो सिनारी होला, तर मैले अब एज अ DBA काम गर्दा त हामी त यहाँ दिनभरि नै काम गरिरहेको हुन्थ्यौँ, उनीहरूको राति यता दिनभरि काम गरिरहेको हुन्थ्यौँ। द्याट वाज प्रोबेबली बिकज हामी चाहिँ रिमोट होइन, हाम्रो चाहिँ नि इन्टायर डेभलपमेन्ट टिम नै यहीँ भएको हुनाले चाहिँ सबै डेभलपमेन्ट काम यहीँ हुन्थ्यो। सो अब सपोर्ट गर्ने भनेको एज अ DBA सपोर्ट गरेको त्यही डेभलपर्सहरूलाई, त्यो डेभलपर्सहरू पनि त्यही सेम टाइम जोनमा काम गरिरहेको थिए। सो एज अ DBA पनि अब त्यही हो, डेभलपर्सहरू कुन टाइम जोनमा छन् उनीहरूलाई सपोर्ट गर्ने हिसाबले नै बसेर काम गर्नु परेको हुन्छ। यस DBAहरू चाहिँ सिङ्कमै काम गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, एसिङ्कमा काम गर्नु चाहिँ अलिकति गाह्रै हुन्छ। त्यो अब त्यही हो, सर्टेन कम्पनी स्पेसिफिक सिनारी भयो त्यो चाहिँ भनौँ न।
थ्याङ्क यू।
हेलो मैले थोरै एड गरेँ। हाम्रो के भन्छ नेपालतिर टाइम पनि धेरै भयो होला होइन। अर्को कुरा यहाँ हाम्रो फ्रेसरहरू अलिक बढी नै हुनुहुन्छ, कोही कलेज पढ्दै हुनुहुन्छ होला धेरै चाहिँ, अनि कोही त अब इन्डस्ट्रीमा पनि काम गरिरहनु भएको छ होला कुनै अरू फिल्डमा। उहाँहरूलाई अझै पनि केही डाउट छ होइन भने चाहिँ हामीसँग अझै 3-4 दिन टाइम छ होला। हाम्रो नेक्स्ट विकबाट सन्डेबाट सुरु हुन्छ होला, सन्डे मन्डेबाट स्केड्युलहरू सबै हाम्रो कोअर्डिनेटरहरूले सेयर गर्नुहुन्छ। त्यो बिचमा हजुरहरूले पनि रिसर्च गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। अनि साथसाथै क्लास सुरु भइसकेपछि पनि हजुरहरूलाई अब जस्तै डेटा इन्जिनियरिङतिर जानुभयो या साइन्सतिर जानुभयो, त्यो बिचमा चाहिँ केही गाह्रो भइहाल्यो होइन, त्यति बेला फेरि तपाईँको चाहिँ अर्को फिल्ड चुज गर्ने केही डिसिजन लिनुभयो भने त्यति बेला फेरि कोअर्डिनेटरहरूलाई इन्फर्म गरेर त्यो 3-4 दिनभित्रमा 1 विकभित्रमा अर्को क्लास चाहिँ स्विच गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ है। त्यो अप्सन पनि छ यदि गाह्रो भइहाल्यो भने चाहिँ होइन। अनि इन केस अब तपाईँको पुरै ओभरअल मन्थमै तपाईँको 3 मन्थ सकिसकेपछि पनि केही गाह्रो भयो भने चाहिँ क्लास पनि रिपिट गर्ने अप्सन पनि छ। तर कम्प्लिट पहिला सुरुमा चाहिँ कम्प्लिट सेसन चाहिँ लिनु पर्यो, सेकेन्ड मन्थ थर्ड मन्थ कम्प्लिट सेसन लिनु पर्यो। अनि त्यस पछाडि अझै पनि टेक्निकल सेसन अर्को सेसन पनि हुन्छ लास्टमा, HR सेसन प्लस टेक्निकल सेसन, जबहरू कसरी हन्ट गर्ने होइन, आफ्नो प्रोफाइलहरू कसरी बनाउने, रेज्युमहरू कस्तो बनाउने, त्यो कुराहरू सेसन पनि हुन्छ। प्लस मोक इन्टरभ्युजहरू सबै हुन्छ। त्यो पछाडि चाहिँ मोक इन्टरभ्यू लिने इन्टरभ्युहरूले चाहिँ तपाईँहरूलाई फिडब्याक दिनुहुन्छ। तपाईँ चाहिँ अब जबको लागि इन्ट्री लेभल जबको लागि रेडी हुनुभयो या त अझै चाहिँ तपाईँले बेसिक कुराहरू नै सिक्नुपर्ने छ। त्यो सेसन त्यो फिडब्याक पछाडि अनि तपाईँले फेरि अब अझै सिक्नुपर्ने रहेछ भने क्लास रिपिट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ यहीँ, होइन? होइन भने तपाईँ जबको लागि रेडी हुनुभयो भने उहाँहरूले त्यही फिडब्याक दिनुहुन्छ, त्यसरी चाहिँ गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। अझै पनि तपाईँहरू कन्फ्युजन छ भने केही त्यस्तो चिन्ता लिनु पर्दैन, टाइम छ है त, 3-4 दिन टाइम छ, प्लस अरू 1 विक त्यो फिल्ड चुज गरिसकेर कोर्समा इन्जिनियरिङ साइन्स र डेटा साइन्समा गइसकेपछि पनि केही डाउट छ भने विदिन अ विक कोअर्डिनेटरलाई भनेर चाहिँ तपाईँहरूले आफ्नो कोर्स चाहिँ फेरि चेन्ज गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। तर पहिला हाम्रो सरहरूले भने जस्तो चाहिँ अब जिरोस एउटा ट्र्याकमा गइसकेपछि तपाईँले एउटा ट्र्याक चाहिँ पहिला फोकस गर्ने 6 मन्थ 1 इयर, त्यस पछाडि अर्को ट्र्याक फेरि तपाईँहरूले चाहिँ सिक्न चाहिँ त्यसरी ट्राई गर्नुभयो भने तपाईँको करियरलाई चाहिँ सजिलो हुन्छ होला। प्लस हाम्रो अर्को एउटा अप्सन भनेको चाहिँ अफिस पनि जान मिल्छ है। कोही नेपालमा हुनुहुन्छ भने होइन, हाम्रो नेपालको अफिसमा चाहिँ कति बेला भिजिट गर्ने, के गर्ने, कहिले जानुहुन्छ, दिनभरि अफिसमा गएर हाम्रो टिमसँग बसेर काम पनि गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, त्यो अप्सन पनि छ। हाम्रो कोअर्डिनेटरहरूसँग चाहिँ एकाडेमी कोअर्डिनेटरसँग चाहिँ कोअर्डिनेट गरेर अफिस पनि भिजिट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। है त अरू धेरै हाम्रो के त लामो समय पनि भइसक्यो, अरू एउटा या दुईटा सेसनहरू क्वेसनहरू राखेर लिएर अनि ऱ्यापअप गर्दा हुन्छ होला। फेरि हाम्रो अब क्लासेस त भइहाल्छ अर्को विकबाट, त्यति बेला केही डाउट भयो भने फेरि क्वेसनहरू गर्दा पनि भयो त्यति बेला।
सर तपाईँले अफिसमा गएर काम गर्ने कुरा गर्नुभयो नि?
हजुर हजुर।
सिमिलरली त्यसरी रिमोटली नै चाहिँ गर्न मिल्दैन?
रिमोटमै बसेर गर्नको लागि तपाईँलाई फेरि रिमोट बसेर काम सिकाउने मान्छे पनि त चाहियो नि त। अफिसमा चाहिँ तपाईँको अब एभ्रिडे भन्दा पनि विकली एउटा टाइम राखिदिएको हुन्छ, एउटा स्लट हुन्छ, किनकि टिमहरू सबै प्रोजेक्टमा बिजी हुन्छ, इन्भल्भ हुन्छ, अनि तपाईँलाई सिकाएर बस्ने टाइम पनि हुँदैन क्या। हाम्रो यो ट्रेनिङ चाहिँ फिजिकल ट्रेनिङ हुँदैन, रिमोटै हो, 100% रिमोटै हो। त्यो हामीले चाहिँ एक्स्ट्रा बेनिफिट राखेको हो। यो चाहिँ कम्प्लिटली 3 मन्थको सेसन चाहिँ कम्प्लिटली रिमोटै हुन्छ, फिजिकल हुँदैन। तर हामीले एउटा अप्सन चाहिँ दिएको, कोही टिमहरू आउन चाहन्छ होइन, अफिसमा आएर अब टिमहरूसँग बसेर काम गर्न चाहन्छ भने चाहिँ एउटा टाइम स्लट एउटा राखिदिएको छ होइन। त्यो चाहिँ कोअर्डिनेटरहरूसँग कोअर्डिनेट गरेर त्यसरी काम गर्न सक्यो। हजुरलाई अब रिमोटको अप्सन दियो भने हजुरलाई रिमोटमा बसेर काम सिकाउने मान्छे पनि त चाहियो नि त। जसरी अहिले हामीले अब बेलुका सेसन राखेको छौँ, त्यसरी राखेर अब डेडिकेटेड टिम चाहियो, त्यो भएर डेडिकेटेड टिम सिकाउनेको लागि मात्रै भनेर चाहिँ त्यो छैन कि रिमोटको लागि। तपाईँ अहिले कहाँ हुनुहुन्छ र?
म इलाममा छु अहिले।
ओके, त्यही त। अब त्यो बाँकी चाहिँ अब अहिले रिसेन्टली चाहिँ छैन। अब त्यही हजुरको डाउट छ भने क्लासेसमै गर्दा भयो। बाँकी भनेको अर्को 4 to 6 PM को टाइम नेपाली टाइममा पनि हजुरको केही छ भने होइन, स्लाकहरूमा मेसेज गरेर या त कलै गरेर के छ, हाम्रो ट्युटरहरूले चाहिँ सपोर्ट गरिदिनुहुन्छ, त्यसको लागि प्रब्लम भएन। अब रिमोटै काम गर्नेवाला चाहिँ अहिले तपाईँलाई डेडिकेटेड मान्छे राखेर चाहिँ सिकाउने मान्छे अलिकति प्रोजेक्टहरूमा बिजी हुन्छ कि, त्यही भएर चाहिँ गाह्रो हुन्छ। त्यही भएर अफिसमा भयो भने चाहिँ एटलिस्ट सजिलो भयो नि त। बाँकीहरू त तपाईँले लिन सक्नुहुन्छ टिमबाट। वृक्ष के छ हाम्रो अर्को केही छ बाँकी पेन्डिङ समीक्षा?
अब लास्ट क्लोजिङ गर्ने हो।
कसैको क्वेसन छ भने क्विक म्याक्स 3टा क्वेसन राख्नु है त ल, होइन भने ऱ्यापअप गरौँ, किनकि टाइम लेट नाइट भयो नेपालमा होला होइन।
सर यो जुन हाम्रो युएसको अफिस छ नि,
हजुर हजुर,
अनि त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो कन्सल्टेन्सी जस्तो हो कि, आई मिन व्हाट डु दे डु देयर?
त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो एक चाहिँ हाम्रो क्यानाडा, युएस अनि नेपालमा छ। म चाहिँ क्यानाडामा छु अहिले होइन। हाम्रो युएस अफिसमा चाहिँ अब टिमहरू छ। अब त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने अब मिटिङहरू भयो भने अफिस जाने, नभए कम्प्लिटली अब रिमोटै काम गर्नेहरू बढी हुन्छ होइन। त्यसरी काम गर्छ। अब डिलाइट यो के भन्छ क्यानाडा र युएसमा चाहिँ त्यस्तो छ।
त्यो होइन, मैले अब सपोज युएसको लागि एप्लाई गर्नु पर्यो भने छ नि यो ट्रेनिङ सकेर, आई मिन उहाँहरूले त्यो युएसकोहरूले मार्केटिङहरू गरिदिनुहुन्छ कि त्यस्तो भन्न खोजेको?
मार्केटिङहरू भन्नाले के, तपाईँको रेज्युमीहरू फरवर्ड गर्ने?
राइट, त्यो जब अब रिक्वायरमेन्टहरू के छ होइन, त्यस्तोमा एज अ कन्सल्टेन्सी हुन्छ नि, जुन अब अहिले युएसमा छ नि त टन्नै कन्सल्टेन्सीहरू, त्यस्तै खालको अब मेरो रेज्युमेहरू उ गर्ने, त्यहाँ रिक्वायरमेन्टहरू कसको छ होइन, त्यसमा फरवार्ड गर्ने त्यस्तोहरू हुन्छ कि हुँदैन भन्ने।
हजुर, हामीले भनेको यहाँ डिलाइटिकामा त अब हामी प्योरली आइटी कम्पनी भयौँ, प्लस एकाडेमी साइड बाई साइड एकाडेमी हामीले चाहिँ अब कम्पनीमै इम्प्लोइ चाहियो भने चाहिँ बाहिरबाट हायर गर्नुभन्दा एकाडेमीबाट इजी होस् भनेर हामी त्यसरी स्टार्ट गरेको हो। अब त्यो कन्सल्टेन्सी जस्तो गर्ने काम चाहिँ हामीले गर्दैनौँ, तर हामीले हामीसँग भएको पढेको स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई चाहिँ हायरिङहरू कम्पनीमा, इन्टरनल कम्पनीमा हायरिङहरू छ भने चाहिँ पहिला हामीले प्रायोरिटी चाहिँ एकाडेमीकै स्टुडेन्टलाई चाहिँ इन्टरभ्यू लिन्छौँ कि होइन, त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ हायरिङ गर्छौँ। तर बाँकी चाहिँ अब सबै अब खतरा हुन्छ भन्ने पनि छैन, तर खतरा निस्क्यो भने त हाम्रो लागि राम्रो हो होइन। तर अब सबैजना हुँदैन, तर हामीले बेस्ट क्यान्डिडेट चाहिँ जो छ त्यति बेला पहिला पिक गर्छौँ। अनि छैन भने पनि बाँकी स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले अब प्लेसमेन्ट पार्टनर या त अब यस्तै हायरिङ एजेन्सी या त कोही पार्टनरहरू छ, एजेन्सीहरू छ भने चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ ल हामीसँग यस्तो यस्तो टिम छ है भनेर हामीले पुलमा राखिदिन्छौँ। हामीसँग डेटा हुन्छ। जस्तै तपाईँहरूसँग पहिले हामीले इनरोल गर्ने बेलामै रेज्युमीहरू सबै इन्फर्मेसनहरू मागेको हुन्छौँ, हामीसँग डेटा छ। अनि हामीसँग चाहिँ तपाईँहरू अब यो कम्प्लिट सेसन कम्प्लिट गरिसकेर मोक इन्टरभ्युजहरू सबै कुराहरू एटेन्ड गरिसक्नुभयो लास्टसम्म, अनि हामीले फिल्टर गरेर चाहिँ सिभीहरू हामीले राखिदिएको हुन्छौँ क्या, सेयर गरिदिएको हुन्छौँ हायरिङ कम्पनीहरू। अब हामी वेबसाइटमै पनि राखिदिन्छौँ, हामी तपाईँहरूको सबैको रेज्युमीहरू प्रोफाइल सबै राखिदिएको हुन्छौँ। अनि अरू कसैले आयो भने हाम्रो वेबसाइटमा आउँछ, हेर्छ, अनि जो क्यान्डिडेट चाहिँ फिट्छ उसले चाहिँ सेलेक्ट गर्छ क्या। त्यसरी हामी सपोर्ट गर्छौँ। जब प्लेसमेन्टको लागि चाहिँ 100% ग्यारेन्टी भनेर अब हामीले ग्यारेन्टी दिन मिल्दैन कसैले पनि होइन, कसैको पनि ग्यारेन्टी हुँदैन। तर अब जब सपोर्टको लागि भनेर चाहिँ हामीले सकेसम्म सपोर्ट गर्न खोज्छौँ क्या, किनकि हाम्रो लागि पनि राम्रो हो, तपाईँहरूको लागि राम्रो हो। हामीले त जति धेरै प्लेस गराउन सक्छ त्यति धेरै हाम्रो डिलाइटेक एकाडेमीको लागि त राम्रो भयो नि त। त्यो भएर हामीले सकेसम्म चाहिँ अब प्लेस गराउनको लागि चाहिँ कोसिस गरिरहेको हुन्छौँ। कसरी हुन्छ, कुन साइडबाट हुन्छ, त्यो हेल्प सपोर्ट चाहिँ गर्छौँ।
Okay, so we are almost at the end of today's session. Before closing today's session, I would like to request everyone to kindly fill out the Google form that was shared today regarding the second month professional track selection for data science, data analytics, and data engineering. The form link has been shared via both Slack and email. If you are unable to find it in your inbox, please make sure to check your spam or junk folder as well. Please fill out the form by 27th May as we need to finalize and prepare the specialization tracks accordingly. So this is it for today. We now conclude today's career guidance session. It has truly been inspiring to witness your curiosity, engagement, and enthusiasm throughout the session. Today was not just about choosing between data science, data analytics, or data engineering. It was also about understanding your strength, exploring opportunities, and preparing yourself for a future driven by data and AI. So on behalf of Dlytica, I would like to extend heartfelt thanks to our students and participants for your active engagement and participation. Our mentors and leadership team for their valuable guidance and support, and our organizing team for their dedication and hard work behind the session. Dlytica, we strongly believe that the right guidance at the right time can shape a successful career. Keep learning, stay curious, and choose the path that truly aligns with your passion and goals. So thank you all for being part of the career guidance session. With that, we conclude today's session. Wishing you all great success and a bright future ahead. Thank you.